a Radio Ron bowling story, you got to go with it. You got to lead with it.
100%.
You got to lead with a Radio Ron bowling story, especially when the team is called the Big Johnsons.
Honestly, I think it would have been worth mentioning, even if they didn't bowl the 300. Just the Big Johnsons
in and of itself.
Going out and doing the thing. Yeah.
Ron, if you're listening, Radio Ron, and I know you are, and if you're not, if your veins are not popping out, one in the middle of your forehead, when you get angry at me, if that one's not popping out, you should give us a schedule, and we should have a report every Thursday about Radio Ron and the Big Johnsons, their bowling escapades in this fun league, this no tap league. I mean, I would be all over that.
I want to follow the standings. I want all the information. I mean, Dick, Harry, and Stubby, how did they do?
Can you hear the guy? And it's always a crappy microphone and speaker, but can you hear the guy? And I was like,
hey, and on lane 38, the Big Johnsons bowled a sanctioned 300 game tonight. Congratulations to the Big Johnsons.
You know what I mean?
Can we get a round of applause for the Big Johnsons?
I mean, congratulations to the Big Johnsons. Anytime you can take your Big Johnsons out and go bowling, it's a good night. All right, great game 3 last night. It was not what I expected. I thought it was going to be a lot closer, and I thought it was going to be. I sincerely thought, Keon, that Golden State had what it was going to take. But I'll be quite frank with you. This is my takeaway from last night's game. It wasn't that the Golden State Warriors played poorly. It wasn't that Steph Curry didn't have his A game. It wasn't that Draymond Green fouled out of the game. It was because the Boston Celtics, which I've been saying all along, they're a big physical team. And I think by the fourth quarter of this game, they wore down the Golden State Warriors. And what are you going to do if you're Steve Kerr heading back to game 4, which is in Boston again, and coming back from a 116-100 deficit in game 3? What do you do if you're Steve Kerr?
And that's a tough thing to say, because Robert Williams has been the guy that when he plays, he doesn't even have to be healthy. Robert Williams wasn't healthy last night. He played 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But when he's out there on the floor, Golden State can't score around the basket. That is just a fact. And I don't know what adjustment you make for that. This is the thing that we were saying when both of us picked this series to go 7 games with Boston as the winner, is they're just a bigger, longer team than the Warriors are. And you can scheme and you can be a brilliant coach, which I think Steve Kerr is.
Yeah.
But you can't out-scheme tall. They're taller than you.
They're taller and they're bigger and they're physical.
Yeah. And they don't mind being a little physical. So when Draymond Green does his thing, Marcus Smart can honestly turn to the media and say, we're going to punch back. And then they do it. And I don't know what adjustment needs to be made. I don't know what adjustment Steve Kerr needs to make to protect Steph Curry. The same way that we've seen people hunt Luka before because he's not a great defender. Steph's not a bad defender, but he's small. So they found Steph on the floor. They switched until guys were being guarded by Steph, and then they went right at him. That's a problem. That is a serious problem Steve Kerr is going to have to untangle. I mean, the amount of post-ups that I saw Marcus Smart on Steph Curry, I'm watching 2 guards in the post because that's the matchup that made the most sense for Boston. Was to get the bigger Smart, against Steph Curry. And Steph tried his best, but he can't stop Marcus Smart from that little turnaround jumper 5 feet from the basket if he wants it. So Steph did his thing on the offensive end, but they were able to exploit him defensively. And Steve Kerr is going to have to find answers for that and for Robert Williams. And I don't know that there are answers.
Well, and this was big for the Celtics as well. And I'm not being braggadocious. I'm just saying the Celtics finally got some production. Jaylen Brown with 27 points, Jason Tatum with 26, Marcus Smart with 24. You get 3 guys and they're in the 20s, the mid-20s, upper 20s like that. It's almost lights out for another team unless you can outshoot them somehow. And normally Golden State could, but I saw blocks. I saw Steph Curry. Was it Steph Curry or was it a Poole? One of the two going in the lane there, going up and throwing one up, and there was a block by I can't think of who it is right now off the top of my pointed head.
I think it might have been Jaylen Brown.
It may have been, but he just went up and just took it out of the sky and passed it in midair. It didn't even get close to the basket. When you cannot get in the lane like that and score because you got these big guys under the basket they're holding court. Yeah, it's going to be hard for Steve Kerr and for Steph Curry and for Draymond Green and the list goes on to try to beat this team. What do? Do you go to just exclusively a long range kind of sniper type of game? Is that what Golden State needs to do?
You can, but you run the risk of shooting yourself out of a game. I mean, if those shots aren't falling for you, and Boston is able to get the same shots in the paint that they have been getting, and Boston, I think, had twice the amount of points in the paint that Golden State had. If you try and rely on the long range game, you kind of live and die with it. And now you're behind in this series. Are you really going to roll the dice that happens often enough that you're able to tie them in this series, pass them in this series, and close them out purely shooting jump shots? I do think that if there is a adjustment that Steve Kerr can make, it's to get back to Kevon Looney. I thought that he kind of got away from Looney. I know Looney can't give you a ton of stuff offensively, but he's solid. And I know they want to play the smaller game, the high tempo game, but the problem with Looney being off the floor is that the Celtics just bully Golden State inside with the combination of Robert Williams and Al Horford. And Kevon Looney at least gives you an answer. He at least gives you a big body that can push back on what these guys want to do in the paint.
I think even a bigger story, other than the Celtics beating Golden State in Game 3, was Steph Curry. Now, I saw the injury take place, and it wasn't fun. He went down, and he was on the floor for quite a bit. I thought originally it was a groin injury because he seemed to be holding that area. But I'm finding out it's a foot injury now. And he, Steph Curry, he's a gamer. He's going to go out there and say, "No, I'm good. I'll be all right. I'm going to play." But you really don't know how effective he's going to be. They could put a whole bunch of cortisone shots in there and tape him up real good, but that might affect his game overall. The Golden State Warriors may have taken a pretty substantial hit here if Steph Curry is not able to play up to himself, and especially Klay Thompson, although he was a little better last night. Klay Thompson was a bit better. If you lose Curry, what do you got? Because now you lose a dimension of this Golden State team. You're forced to play Poole in Steph Curry's place, I think, and you lose what Poole was offering you off the bat. I mean, this could be substantial for the Golden State. What do you think of that?
No, it's 100% a big deal. It would be. This is a bigger deal than if Jason Tatum had the same injury, because Boston's able to find other avenues of scoring. They're role players. Shaq likes to call them the others. Those others are finding ways to score. If Steph Curry doesn't play well, Golden State's not winning. If he can't play to the level of Steph Curry as we know him, which he has been doing this series, I give him all the credit in the world for how good he's looked this series. But if he can't play at that level, Golden State cannot win. They can't. They're not getting enough out of Draymond this series. They're not getting enough out of Otto Porter, Gary Payton II, who I think is kind of underrated. Dude's playing pretty good defense, but he's not giving them anything. He's a net zero on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah, they're not getting anything from those guys. And Klay got you 25 last night. I want to see Klay do it multiple times in a series first before I say, all right, we've got the Klay we know back in this series.
Right.
So that's scary to me if I'm Golden State. I don't think they can win if Steph's not playing at a high level.
We'll have to wait and see. Game 4 is Friday night. Imagine that they're taking just today off. They're gonna play Friday night. Then they'll take a week and a half off to travel from Boston back to Golden State. Yeah, the teams will take a vacation to I don't know, Caribbean. They'll come back all refreshed, and we'll play Game 5 in Golden State. Let's go to the text line at 888-368-1580. Check in with the Fourth Dimension. Big George says, hello, gentlemen. Happy Thursday. I know Radio Ron is a big bowler, so I try to add any bowling history I can on this day in Big George's sports history because I know Jeffrey is obligated to read it. Congratulations, Radio Ron, on the perfecto. I don't know that Jeffrey's obligated. Jeffrey's his own man. But he wanted to share. Quite frankly, I've been with Radio Ron. We were like my first time out at the Phoenix Open with Radio Ron. He took me to the owner's tent, and I don't remember much of what happened. And also, I've been ordered by the court not to divulge anything. So there's that kind of that gag order going on there. But Jeffrey got the email. I didn't get the email. That could have been something that, Radio Ron after the Big Johnsons, I'm sure they had a big celebration there. And he just forgot that Jeffrey's out of town, and I'm the one. Keon and I are the ones doing the show alone. So he probably just sent that to Jeffrey on accident. After the celebration. Randy's chuckle says Big Johnson's have 15-pound balls. Ain't that the truth, brother? Ain't that the truth? Boomer Sooner says, good day, gentlemen. Beautiful day in the Valley. Randy, can I get a cold beer? And just so I can tell Blender Nation, Sooners go for national title tonight against the Longhorns. They only beat Texas 15-1 last night. Beat, I think, is what he means.
Yeah.
I think he's rubbing that in a little bit on you there.
Well, you know what? There's 3 games in these series.
Yeah, there's 3 games.
There's a bounce back coming.
They're like 906-1 or something. So
yeah,
Boomer Sooner. There you go, Boomer Sooner. There's your beer. Mars Bars 805. Happy Thursday, guys. I'll take an 805, please, and a PC for Jeffrey and Sister Station. Go Raiders and refs in 7.
If you like pina colada,
what?
Getting caught in the rain.
What do you mean go refs in 7? What does that mean, Mars Bars 805? Please explain. Twitty says, Randy, you need to ask Radio Ron if they refer to their team as the BJs.
The Big Johnsons.
The BJs? Really?
That's too many layers deep, man.
Come on, man. I'm not going to do that. Radio Ron signs my check.
We're walking a tightrope as is.
What do you think? I'm not Jeffrey. I can't get away with stuff like that. Mr. Pink Eye, hi guys. Why aren't you guys on the Big Johnsons team? I don't know. Up until now, I did not realize that Ron had a bowling team called the Big Johnsons.
This is the first time learning about it. I don't even want to be on the team. I just want to be a spectator.
I swear to you, Fourth Dimension, as God is my witness, I will figure out where these lanes are, and I will go and pour myself a beer out of a big, giant, icy cold pitcher, and I will watch the Big Johnsons do battle against the rest of this fun no-tap league. That's my mission. It's my goal now. Kyle G says Celtics are just a better team. Might have to change my pick from Boston to 7 and Boston to Boston in 5. Ooh, easy.
Oh.
Easy, Kyle G. Easy, big fella. The Berg says, boo-hoo. Celtics fans said some words that frustrated the Warriors. This isn't 2020 playing in an empty arena. Yeah, but I mean, okay, yes. But, Berg, come on. They're kids in the arena. They don't need to hear that. Come up with something else. Like when I watch hockey games, I go to the Coyotes game, and the opposing team gets scored on by the Coyotes. He shoots, he scores. Hey, goalie, you suck. All right, so I could accept that. That's okay. But F you, Draymond. Come on, man.
And it's crazy because the camera, of course, is showing the crowd, and you see kids there. You see like 10, 12-year-olds. It's a basketball game. You should be able to take your kid to a basketball game and not have F this guy being chanted on both sides of a damn stadium.
I mean, it's just respect for other people and their children. Just be respectful. That's all I ask. But you're right. Boo-hoo. Celtics fans said some words. You're right. We'll get to that in a minute. Kerr was a little upset. Blissful Hayes says, good afternoon, Randy, Keon, and for it to mention the Warriors cry and whine to the refs way too much. Players should get fined $50,000 for talking to the refs. Oh, wow. $50,000.
Yeah, I'm not going to sign on board with that.
Yes,
Look,
Berg, I did see Draymond say the S word in front of his child on live television at the press conference. I did. Yes, I did.
It's because some parents do actually swear in front of their kids, but I'm talking about kids beyond Draymond's kids. So, and even then, I don't think a little kid needs to hear a bunch of people chanting F and then their dad's name. I just think that that's ridiculous.
Just be better. That's all. Just be better. All right, listen, we've come to break number one here. Gosh, I'm running late. When we come back, a little gamesmanship on the side of the Boston Celtics, maybe, perhaps. And also a kid gets pretty rich, gets a nice payday out of a one-of-a-kind Mac Jones card. What? That's around the corner here on the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is Brett Musburger's Action Update. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now, you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now. Here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The Celtics took a 2-1 lead in the NBA Finals over the Warriors on Wednesday night with a 116-100 win in Boston. Game 4 in Boston set for Friday night. Boston a 3.5-point favorite, 213 the total. Steph Curry injured in Game 3, saying after the game he was in some pain, but that he would be okay. The inaugural Live Golf Invitational underway today from London. Dustin Johnson, the odds-on favorite at plus 500. Louis Oosthuizen and Taylor Gooch plus 1,000. NFL Week 1 early odds updated this week. The Arizona Cardinals opening the 2022 season at home against the Chiefs. Arizona opening as a 3-point home underdog. The over-under set at 53. For vsin.com, I'm Trey Westerberg on Arizona's sports betting station.
Progressive presents today's to-do list for your cat.
Take a nap, meow till I get food, walk away from food, move to couch, see human, give cold shoulder. Take a nap, meow till I get
Your
food.
pet has a very busy schedule, so it's up to you to make sure they're protected. That's why Progressive Car Insurance covers your pets for up to $1,000 if they're ever in a car accident with you.
Move to couch, aggressively clean myself. Take a nap, meow till I get food.
Get coverage for your pets with anti-auto policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Distracted driving is dangerous, Arizona. When you pick up your phone to send a text message, you're putting lives at risk. When you pick up your phone to take a call, you're putting lives at risk. When you pick up your phone to check an email, you're putting lives at risk. And now, when you pick up your phone while driving, it's also against the law in Arizona. Don't get a ticket. Don't pick up your phone. Sponsored by Arizona Chapter National Safety Council and Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Market Wrap host Mo Ansari talks about the dangers of emotional investing.
There's two things that people sell. One is greed and one is fear. Whenever you buy either one of those, you're going to end up getting burned because they are the epitome of emotions. And you've heard me say, whenever emotions take over, you're in trouble. If you don't want that to happen to you, give us a call. We'll be more than happy to do an objective evaluation of your portfolio. You'll find the right degree of risk, what you have in your portfolio, what you should have, depending on your age, depending on your emotional makeup, depending on your financial makeup, depending on what your objectives are. All of those things go in to determine the correct balance of portfolio. We'll do that for you. It is free. You have to at least get started.
If you're ready to get started, call pound 250 and say talk to Mo, or go to compact.com and click on the Get Started button. That's COMPAK.com.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA, SIPC.
Does your company need bonds? Hi, this is Dave McKee, president of Constructors Bonding, inviting you to learn how our team can deliver better bonding than any competitor anywhere. Our relationships with every major surety get you the credit you need fast, and we never stop working to exceed your expectations. Call me personally at 602-432-5929. That's 602-432-5929 to learn how Constructors Bonding is your solution to better bonds.
You can hear the grunts of pain. You can smell the workout sweat. You can feel the muscles straining. And even if you can't, we can.
And that's all that really matters.
NFL training camp.
Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Here we go.
It fills the senses.
Well, everyone's but yours.
Get the latest info, insights, and breaking news here.
Respect what it is we're doing here.
On your home for the NFL, 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender on this Thursday. Just kind of getting underway here. Text line open at 888-368-1580. You can text in about our main story, our number one story today. Radio Ron and the Big Johnsons, his team in the No Tap League. The Big Johnsons bowled a sanctioned 300-point perfect game last night. That's our big story. Radio Ron, who's known as Hugh, and his other teammates, Dick, Harry, and Stubby, collectively bowled a 300 game. Jeez. Let's go to the text line. Big George says, I think Radio Ron and the Big Johnson's bowling brigade bowl their bowling balls at the old Bill Johnson's Big Apple restaurant on 37th Street in Van Buren. Is that now a bowling alley? Is that the lanes? I don't believe that Big George goes down to 37th Street. He lives in like North Scottsdale. I don't think he's going to go to 37th Street, Van Buren to go bowling. I could be wrong, though. I could be. Fed Fan, I have a question. Is any network going to pick up the LIV Live Golf tournaments? Or will the Saudis just flip the bill on all the cost of this new league? Well, that's a good question. Will the Saudis be paying for everything at Big Johnson's? You mean Bill Johnson's? Well, no, Bill Johnson's, I believe, is closed now. And it would be more of a, wouldn't be like a Bill Johnson's. And it would be more, instead of like meat, like beef, it would be more lamb, I think, involved. Perhaps. The Berg says they don't call us people from Massachusetts mass holes for being all rainbows and unicorns. Well, that's true. It's a rough crowd there. It's a rough crowd. I will agree with you, Berg. But still, come on. Would you do that if you took your kids there? Would you enjoy that? Would you laugh? Hey, you know what? Join in with them. Let's all yell the same thing. I mean, I wouldn't.
Me neither.
888-368-1580. Game 3 last night. Pretty big game. Listen, Draymond Green fouled out early, fouled out late in the game. Was that a factor in how Golden State played their game, Keon?
I think it was a factor. It doesn't help when they don't have Draymond because they need his playmaking ability. You know, they need a lot of those things from him. But I think the fact that he did foul out was just indicative of the kind of game he was playing all game long. He didn't look like normal Draymond. He really seemed out of sorts. And part of that was what Boston did to him. I thought Boston did a lot of things to try and make life very miserable for Draymond Green. But also Draymond, and Draymond said it himself, he wasn't as aggressive as he needed to be early on. And so when he started to try and amp himself up, he was, reaching for the ball when he shouldn't have been. So he got a bunch of reaching fouls there and stuff. That kind of stuff is going to affect you even before he fouls out of the game. You get into that foul trouble and you're already playing timid. Draymond is the heartbeat of the Golden State Warriors. And if he doesn't play well, which isn't necessarily scoring a bunch of points, but if he doesn't play well in the way that he brings energy to that team, in the way that he sets other guys up as scorers, they're going to struggle. And so we saw that all kind of come to fruition in the fourth quarter.
We've been talking about Klay Thomas and his shooting woes for quite some time here. And last night during the finals warm up, the Warriors were in the arena there, and they were taking notice of their basket. Now I don't know how they could see this, but the Warriors, Golden State Warriors, during warm up, they noticed that their basket was 2 inches higher than what it should be.
Oh, well, I don't think it's one of those things that when you shoot on it, you notice right away.
Some of you might be asking 2 inches, what's the big deal? But there's, I guess, a huge difference when you are an exacting NBA shooter like Steph Curry or Klay Thompson or some of these guys out there, and you would notice there's something wrong with his basket. Don't look right. So
yeah,
instead of being 10 feet tall, it was 10 feet 2 inches.
And there's some guys that dunk, and they just barely get there. The 2 inches is very noticeable if you're the guy that's just barely getting up there, and then you can't quite you can't quite make it. It's either something's wrong with your legs, or the rim's just a little higher.
Steve Kerr said when asked about the situation, it's a good thing the game starts at midnight, referring to the 9 p.m. Eastern start. What are you complaining about, Steve? That's like 6 o'clock in the evening for you. He went on to say it happens every once in a while. Players have a really sharp eye for that. The players can tell. Yeah, well, was it a little gamesmanship, do you think, on the part of the Celtics to kind of throw them off a little, give them something to be jawing about, and thinking about before getting to the game?
I can't tell you whether or not it was done on purpose, but if it was, that's another thing that you can do to get inside your opponent's head. We've seen arenas pull stuff like that before. Not surprising if that turns out to be a little gamesmanship on the part of the Celtics organization there.
And then I guess after the game, which is what Berg has been talking about this morning, Berg has been talking about the chants from the Boston faithful, and Steve Kerr, he just had one word to say when asked about the Boston fans chant towards Draymond Green, which was F you, Draymond. He just said, Steve Kerr just responded when asked about it. He just said, oh, they're classy. That's classy.
Yeah, and people are saying that he's crying about it. I don't know. Does that sound like crying to you?
I don't think it was. Yeah. I don't think it's crying about it. He just made a one-word comment.
Yeah.
Classy.
I don't know. The Warriors have won championships in hostile places before. I mean, they went to a finals against the Cleveland Cavaliers and then went back to Cleveland the following year to play another NBA final. So that is the kind of thing that they've been in hostile environments. This is not them complaining about it, but it does seem a little classless when you're dropping the F-bomb in a place where kids are supposed to be hanging out.
And Draymond Green expected it. I even think he said he expected it, and he was talking about it not really bothering. It doesn't bother him. He enjoys the role that he plays with Golden State, being the kind of the henchman, the villain. He enjoys being the bad guy. He enjoys wearing the black uniform. He enjoys that kind of that aura that he's going to do something to get under your skin. And I applaud Boston for being. I applaud the fans of Boston, which is a great sports town, by the way. Very, very, very good, exciting sports town. But I mean, this is not the first time that Boston fans have been called out. I mean, there's been several times that baseball players and other players, football players alike, have said there's been a lot of racial chants too. So I keep it. You know what? Have fun at the game. Be loud. Be raucous. Make the other team work hard to have to communicate. I get that. But do we have to use, profanities to do it? Hey, call me an old prude. I don't care. I didn't raise my kids to do that. And I didn't like it when people, I would take my kids to a game. If there was some, jerkwad up there, raining down a string of profanities, I would ask him, hey, sir, I have kids here. Can you please not?
Yeah.
Most of the time, people were respectful enough to not do it.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's saying that, Boston fans are some special kind of terrible.
No.
Just that particular chant. If you want to go after Draymond, that's fine. But
Draymond, you suck, Dray. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could do it a different way.
And I disagreed with the Knicks fans last year when it was Trae Young and they were chanting F Trae Young. Like there's just no reason for that. They're just kids there. That's my issue. And sometimes that stuff also gets out on TV. They don't have a way to drop the sound, drop the audio. So it just gets out. There's no reason for it.
Klay Thompson said the crowd was not a factor. We played in front of rude people before, dropping F-bombs with children in the crowd. Real classy. Good job, Boston. That was Klay Thompson. I don't know. I just have a thing about it. And there are people you know what? If you don't like it, don't go to the game. Well, why should I be punished? Why shouldn't I be able to go to the game? Because I want to go to the game. I want to be in the environment. I understand that there's going to be people that say that and do that. I just think that Boston, a great sports town, I just think that you guys could be better. You could find something else to chant. I'm not saying don't chant. Just why does it have to be a profanity? 888-368-1580. I'm probably in trouble. Blissful Hayes says, is Radio Ron and the Big Johnsons walk-up song Big Balls by AC/DC? Well, I mean, it is a bowling team. It is a bowling team.
So it would fit.
I don't, Ron, although very healthy and in great shape, by the way, because he is part of that cycling gang, the Sons of Apathy. And well tanned on his derriere, I understand. I bet he bowls a heavy ball. You know what I mean? He's from Michigan. I bet he walks up there with a heavy ball or two. King of Kittens is the Live Golf Tournament can only be viewed by streaming on livegolf.com. That's LIV golf.com.
And I think they've got a YouTube channel too. And you might be able to stream it on Facebook.
Good.
And I've never used the DAZN app, but apparently you can stream it there too.
Good. I hope the broadcast media here and all those involved in the broadcast media here don't get involved. I mean, I don't like this whole thing. I don't like the whole thing, but I am hoping that because of this, it might change some things that are happening in the PGA where they won't be so damn greedy and will open up their coffers. By the way, the PGA is extremely, extremely wealthy. They could pay out. They could pay out more. Just saying. Silver Pops says fans are gonna be fans and be emotionally involved in a game. I think having Clown Shoes Green and his antics being tolerated is worse than the cursing. What do you mean being tolerated? Oh, you mean because he's not getting the technical fouls? Is that what you mean? And Silver Pops?
What do you mean his antics? This is what I don't understand. There are people who will complain about, well, I wish the NBA was the way that it used to be back in the day. And then will simultaneously hate Draymond Green. How's that possible? Draymond Green is cut from the same cloth as Dennis Rodman.
Oh, yeah.
Ron Artest, Bill Laimbeer.
Absolutely.
In fact, Draymond Green has basically said Bill Laimbeer walked so that he could run. That is, do you want the old school game or not? Because that's Draymond's as close as we're getting. Okay? That he's as close as we get.
Draymond is an instigator, like an instigator in hockey. His job is to go out and make big plays, hustle plays, and also put a hurt on the other team and get in their head. He instigates with the other. He's a guy that goes out and gets in the fight with the other team. That's his job.
You cannot tell me the NBA is getting soft and then want Draymond and his antics out the game. Those two things are opposite of each other.
Boomer Sooners on the text line. He says, freaking New England teams, they all cheat. What? And he's referring to that extra 2 inches on the basket there.
Oh, this is not basket gate.
Oh boy, watermelon. Oh gosh, here we go now. Hoop gate. Did anybody check the pressure in the basketballs? Bat flipper. Does the fact that both Celtics and Warriors, sorry about that. Does the fact that both Celtics and Warriors kept their core together and one will finally break through and win championships make you want to keep Ayton here in Phoenix, Randy? Well, I mean, I'm all for keeping Ayton here. I just don't want to pay him the max contract. Tell me why, Bat Flipper, the Suns should give him a max contract. Tell me why. Because he earned it, or because he's owed it because he's been in the league for a couple of years now and it's time for us to extend it? Tell me why. Jag Dog says, I can't say that on the air.
Oh, one of those.
Jag Dog. But that's a nice. Listen, I wouldn't have a problem with that. It's just, I don't know. It just, we got to take a break. We've got more texts on the text line. Berg, I see you. King of Kittens, Fed Fan, Blissful Hayes, I see you. When we come back, a kid got himself a hold of a very valuable card. I'll tell you about it and what he did with it when we get back here. It's the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
You know when you see a great deal on the phone and then you find out it's not for you? Not at Verizon.
They just gave us all a new iPhone 13.
So we both got the same great deal.
Yep.
Get iPhone 13 on us with select trade-in and 5G unlimited plans for every customer, current, new, everyone, to show the love. Only from Verizon. $799.99, 128 gigabytes only. Device payment purchase with new or upgrade smartphone line required. Less up to $800 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. Trade-in conditions apply.
If you're age 62 or older and own a home, this message is for you. Reverse Rob here, Money Radio's expert on reverse mortgages. Learn how to tap the equity in your home and increase the quality of your life by earning tax-free income while protecting your other retirement assets. Join us for our free Second Saturdays webinar every month to learn more. This is not too good to be true. All you need to do is reverse your thinking. Call me today, Reverse Rob, to learn more at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
Distracted driving kills in Arizona. Life is more important than your phone's beep. Stop the distracted driving, Arizona, please. Sponsored by the Arizona Chapter National Safety Council and the Governor's Office of Highway Safety, aired in cooperation with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Market Wrap host Mo Ansari talks about the benefits of a financial advisor.
Not only the technicals and the fundamentals and the valuation, but you have to look at the macro picture. And that requires a lot of work where you're looking at the sectors and industries within the sectors. And then you find the stocks within the sectors that are doing better. And then you have to do the work on those individual stocks. And you sort of go through tons of sand before you find those nuggets of gold. And the discipline to do that continuously, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, that is the hard part. People become traders, but they have a job, they've got a family, they get distracted, and then you look at it 3 weeks later and it's all history. Like your personal trainer who keeps your health on check, this is why you need a financial advisor to keep your emotions in check.
If you need help keeping your investments on track, call pound 250 and say talk to Mo, or go to compact.com and click on the Get Started button. That's COMPAK.com.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA, SIPC.
This is Dale Hellestrade from my friends at Constructors Bonding. If you need bonds, you can put your trust in Arizona's industry leader for the best service, rates, terms, and capacity anywhere. Constructors Bonding is the #1 writer with 14 sureties and will improve your bond program. Call Dave McKee today to learn how Constructors Bonding will perform for you. 602-432-5929. That's 602-432-5929, or visit cbialliance.com.
Before becoming a professional announcer, I took the announcer oath, which forbids me from misleading listeners.
Just wrap your heads around the reality of that.
That means I speak the truth when I say
you can listen to us on your smart speaker.
Just say, listen to 1580 The Fanatic.
Hey, don't look now, gang, but the Diamondbacks are on a big 2-game winning streak. They won last night. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And also today, we'll give you the details. But this baseball season, you can swing for the fences on FanDuel Sportsbook. New customers get $200 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up with promo code Randy1580 to get in on the action. FanDuel lets you bet the money line, home run props, strikeout totals, so much more, right? You know, the over-under on scores, things like that. Plus, you can combine your bets for an even bigger payday with the same game parlay. Pick a couple of guys out of the game and say, this guy's going to go 2 for 4. This guy's going to have 5 strikeouts. The game, this team's going to win. And you built yourself a parlay. And if you need help with parlays, maybe you're new to betting, that's okay. FanDuel has got you covered. They've got a whole selection of same game parlays that have already been created. So you could just jump in on one of those. You can start with one of those and kind of change it up if you'd like. If you haven't tried FanDuel, now's the perfect time to give it a shot. Join with promo code Randy1580. That's how I started doing the parlays, by the way. I would see somebody's parlay. I'm like, that's a damn fine parlay right there. I think I'll change I don't like this one. I'll change this one. And then I would make my own. See what I mean? Join with promo code Randy1580 and turn a $5 bet into $200 in free bets, win or lose, exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app, 21 and older, presence in Arizona, first online real money wager only, $10 first deposit required, bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after you receive them. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Or text next step to 53342. The Bergs says a couple of things here before we get back to it. We've learned to drive with one hand on the horn and a single digit finger out the window. How many of us learned that way? Look up the soundbite of a Warriors fan yelling at LeBron and Klay Thompson's response. Sounds like a hypocrite now. Celtics are one team I don't care for from the Boston Major Four. Just to note also, Friday won't be fun for Golden State, I would imagine. In Boston, they're going to bring it. The fans take this as a challenge to be even more and more obnoxious.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't think, and this is the reason why I don't think it's hypocritical on the part of Klay Thompson. The difference between a fan and the whole building is huge. When the whole building is chanting F whoever, that is different from a fan. You can toss out a fan. You can ignore a fan. You can't ignore the whole damn building.
Whole building, yeah. I just think a better way to be obnoxious rather than using a profanity. But then again, a lot of people are, if you know kids that are anywhere from second grade on up anymore, they all know all the curse words and they have them memorized and use them at will. King of Kittens says, I just followed Live Golf on Facebook thanks to Keon. Well, enjoy that journey there, King of Kittens. I hope they're not tracking your every move. Blissful Hayes, you don't like Draymond Green if your team is playing Golden State, but you like him if you're on Draymond's team. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. He's one of those guys. He is wired in that fashion. Patrick Beverley's another guy.
Mars Bars 805 says F the Tuck rule, go Raiders, and F Boston, go Lakers. Okay.
There's a little bit of, well, not a little bit. There's a lot of just anti-Boston going on in that text.
Bat Flipper says, I don't think he deserves the max contract either, but I can see him staying here with what you are paying Booker, Paul, and Bridges. Well, if you can, please let me know, because I'd love how to make it happen, because my understanding is DA wants a full max extension, and he doesn't want to take anything less.
And the other thing that he wants, and I think this is actually the part that makes it harder to keep him. I don't think that DeAndre Ayton is at the point now where he wants to be the third banana on the team. The set screens, roll to the basket, play defense. I think that he wants to do more. And so he wants to be paid like a guy who can do more, but also he wants to do more. And I don't know if this particular offensive system is going to change so that DeAndre Ayton can do more. Let's start running some plays out of the post for DeAndre Ayton, not just at the beginning of the game, but in the fourth quarter too, when it really matters.
Yeah, why not?
We didn't really see that happen for the Suns. So I think he wants the mantle. I think he doesn't just want to get the money. I think he also wants the respect that comes with it. And my nightmare is DeAndre Ayton goes to Portland, where they'll definitely do that for him. Give him the second option next to Dame Lillard. Or he goes to San Antonio, where they don't mind using big guys that way. And he's successful. That's the thing. One of those teams pays him the max, and he's successful there because they actually run the offense through him. That's what I worry about.
Look, I said it. DeAndre reminds me of a very young Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a guy that has all the skills and the athleticism to not only be a great rebounder, but also to be a great shooter, a guy that can, when the crunch is on, you can get the ball into him and he's going to put it home. You can count on it. It's just like having a closer in baseball. This guy's going to walk in and he's going to close you down. Mariano Rivera, there you go. Pay him the max contract because you know why? He doesn't lose all the time. He gives up maybe one game here, maybe 2 games here. But, the guy is like a rock. He comes out there and just does his job. The problem is, like Keon said, I don't think Monty and this offensive scheme that they have for this team is going to do that for DA. And he needs to go somewhere where he can flourish.
And by the way, this is not a dig at Monty. I don't think that Monty's crazy for wanting to do it that way. When Chris Paul is at his peak, I've seen him do it many times. And we even saw it with JaVale McGee, Bismack Biyombo, guys like that. When Chris Paul is at his peak, like every center looks good. So maybe you don't need a max guy playing that position, and you don't have to change your offense if Chris Paul's going to do that. But the question is Chris Paul going to do that?
888-368-1580. I love getting all these texts on this Thursday edition of the Daily Blender. Blissful Hayes says, why does Stephanie Curry even have a mouthpiece? He dangles it from the outside of his mouth a lot during the game. Makes no sense. Well, that's true.
But it's usually when play has stopped. Then
I wonder if he's ever dropped it before and had to pick it up real quick, do a quick wipe on the old jersey, and bam, back in the mouth.
I don't know. I do remember that one time he got so mad he threw it.
That'd be so damn manly if he did that. You know what I mean?
Just wipe it off.
Just pick it up and wipe it off on his shirt. Throw it right back in his mouth.
Don't even worry about what.
10,000 people with a giant sigh. Oh, you know what I mean? Just like, wow, he didn't just do that. And then some guy in a plaid shirt stands up on one of the ends, under the basket and starts applauding him for doing it. He's a lumberjack. He's there to watch the game. Yeah. Fed Fan says, everyone who hates Draymond would love him if he was on their team. Yeah, you're exactly right, Fed Fan. That's what Mars Bars just said. Was it Mars Bar? No, Blissful Hayes. Or, I don't know. Somebody said it. Also, sorry about your Texas softball team, Keon. You may want to start playing taps now. I don't see how they will win 2 games against Oklahoma. And finally, Fed Fan says Draymond should just go do what Jay Crowder did and make T-shirts and sell them online. Why not?
It's an extra revenue stream. I don't begrudge anybody.
Side hustle. Why not?
We might talk a little bit later about Draymond's other gig.
King of Kittens, I'm sorry to hear that. King of Kittens says, my brother-in-law just sent my sister divorce papers. We need a round of drinks, Rando.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry to hear that. Or maybe I'm not. Maybe she's going to be a lot better off without this guy. Yeah, I don't know. Or I don't want to get involved. The Berg. Thank you, Mars Bars. Okay. And Good Cat. Keon, all the people playing in this year's final, who do you think deserves the title most? I think Big Al deserves it the most.
Do you mean the finals MVP? Boy, I can't give it to Big Al with him disappearing that way in game 2. But if he plays the way he did in 1 and 3, for a couple more games, he'll be in that mix. It's hard for me to not say Steph if the Warriors win, and Jaylen Brown if Boston wins. Jaylen's been consistent. And when Tatum fell down early and kind of landed on his arm weird, couldn't really shoot, kind of got a stinger, couldn't really shoot. Jaylen Brown took it on himself to be the offense for the Boston Celtics and was incredibly successful. I would think Jaylen would be in the running too.
This next story is it will warm your heart, Keon. Are you a card guy? Are you a card collector?
Yeah,
you like collecting the cards?
I've got some cards. Yeah.
Yeah, I got some cards. Jeffrey's a big card collector. I know the Berg is a paraphernalia and card collector. So this will be heartwarming. We've talked about cards and their costs and everything. But this from Akron, Ohio, shuffling through a pack of cards on Friday. 13-year-old Johnny Stone pulled out a seemingly ordinary football card of New England Patriots quarterback Mac Jones. But for a collector like Johnny, he knew the card was life-changing. Johnny says, as soon as I pulled it, I couldn't breathe, he says. It's the only one of its kind, and I couldn't believe it. Let me stop there.
But he knew that when he saw it?
Yeah, you could take this a couple of different ways, and he is 13. Moving along, Johnny and his dad, Chad, have been collecting cards for several years. And what happens here is they pulled a one-of-a-kind Mac Jones pristine New England Patriots card, and he ended up selling this card for $100,000 cash from a private collector in Michigan. Since then, the card has been sold for $175,000. If I'm Johnny Stone, I'm going to Michigan and beating that guy's ass. I could have got $175,000 out of you. Anyway, there you go. Congratulations, Johnny Stone. That's hour 1 down. Hour 2 right around the corner. It's the Daily Blender on 1580 The Fanatic.
Progressive presents today's to-do list for your cat.
Take a nap, meow till I get food, walk away from food, move to couch, see human, give cold shoulder. Take a nap, meow till I get
Your
food.
pet has a very busy schedule, so it's up to you to make sure they're protected. That's why Progressive Car Insurance covers your pets for up to $1,000 if they're ever in a car accident with you.
Move to couch, aggressively clean myself. Take a nap, meow till I get food.
Get coverage for your pets with anti-auto policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
If you're an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits and the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
Your home has gone way up in value, but have you taken advantage of it? This is Rob Canyer with a phenomenal opportunity to tap into some of your home equity, earning tax-free income and eliminating your mortgage payment while staying in your home as long as you want. With home prices leveling off, don't wait to learn more about the new reverse mortgage. This is a safe and proven money-saving and tax-free income opportunity for homeowners age 62 and older. Call me, Reverse Rob, and learn more today at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. Are you seeing what is going on in the home buying market right now? Unbelievable. Not enough inventory, and there is a ton of demand. Some of these homes are getting 30, 40, 50 offers on them. How are you going to stand out? How are you going to differentiate yourself from the other buyers who are in line? I have a way. Use the Lund Mortgage Team. Lund Mortgage Team is locally owned and operated with over 20 years of experience right here in the Valley. They have a great reputation, and it is a trustworthy pre-approval. And on top of that, they are quick That's one of the things you got to come equipped and be ready to buy. So what you need to do is make that first phone call to 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940. Get that pre-approval going and then get yourself ready to go buy that home of your dreams. Go online, lundmortgageteam.com, or call 623-875-9940.
NASCAR Championship weekend is back at Phoenix Raceway. Drivers will put it all on the line to claim NASCAR greatness. The Truck Series Championship kicked things off Friday night under the lights. We're going to tear it up tonight. Followed by an action-packed Saturday, where fans will witness an ARCA and Xfinity Series Championship doubleheader. Don't miss out on the action November 4th and 5th. Get your tickets now for NASCAR Championship weekend at PhoenixRaceway.com or call 866-408-RACE.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
Welcome to hour number 2 on this Thursday of the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. My name is Randy White. That over there is sexiest man in sports broadcasting, Keon Rose. Jeffrey O'Brien on the road, and he should be coming back sometime. Not sure when. He's got a huge project that he's working on over in Palm Springs at our sister station, probably listening at this very moment, saying much of the time what FedFan says, why did I leave these two guys to do the show? The big story today, Radio Ron and the Big Johnsons score a perfect game in last night's action at the Lanes. Radio Ron bowling with his fun no-tap league, the Big Johnsons. Bowled a sanctioned 300-point game last night. Perfect game. This outing helps put the Big Johnsons into first place. And in this league, he's known as Hugh Johnson. Still trying to figure out Hugh. Is it a play on like huge?
I think so, yeah.
And his partners are Dick, Harry, and Stubby. Radio Ron, a prolific bowler in his own right, also had a perfect game back in 2013. Wow. That's the big story here on the Daily Blender. Congratulations to Radio Ron and the Big Johnsons on their epic bowling exploits last night at the lane. Radio Ron has not texted in. He's not texted my phone. I am sitting here waiting. Is he there in the office today? Is he in the office?
I saw him earlier.
Uh-huh. Well, he needs to let us know what lanes are so you and I can go and watch the Big Johnsons do work. 888-368-1580 is the text line. That's how you, the fourth dimension, get into to the action here on this beautiful Thursday. A little warm outside. It's only some clouds moving up from the south. Good Cat says instead of just the MVP, he wants you to know who do you think should win the title? Who deserves the title?
Oh, okay. Which player
itself?
Yeah, okay. Well, in that case, yeah, Al Horford is high on that list. Al Horford has won a bunch of playoff games in his life. And this is his first opportunity to actually play in a finals, and for him to be a role player kind of guy his whole career, do exactly what is asked of him and never really get this opportunity. Yeah, Al Horford is certainly up there. He's probably the guy, you'd have to say. Maybe Jason Tatum.
As we broadcast from the Harmon Solar Studios, the Berg, I think I'm making his day here. Many of you know the Berg has been dealing with brain cancer, and he's, I think I may have struck his cynical nerve. He says, yeah, Randy, thanks a lot. 2001, 2004 were great for Mariano. Thanks, Randy. Love Rivera. Berg is from Boston and loves the Red Sox. So
I'm going to go with heavy doses of sarcasm.
Yeah. Just a tip. Good afternoon, gentlemen. DeAndre had the last 2 seasons to prove his willingness to win. He went 15 points and 8 boards, 1 assist against Dallas this year. If he was a full thread stud, and played like it would be, like he would be able to talk about, just give me the damn ball. Right now, he's just winning. All right, now he's just whining. Sorry about that. Murdered that. Just a tip. Let me read it again because I did such a great job on it the first time. Why not hear it again? Good afternoon, gentlemen. DeAndre Ayton had the last 2 seasons to prove his willingness to win. He went 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist against Dallas this year. If he was a full-tread stud and played like he would be able to talk about, just give me the damn ball. Right now, he's just whining.
I don't know if I agree with that. And I don't, and he didn't say, give me the damn ball. I just don't think he wants to be screen and roll guy. There's more to his game than that. So nobody who's put the amount of time that it takes to be polished in the post would want to be, I just set screens and roll to the basket. Nobody. And the other thing with him is he averaged 15 points a game against Dallas. He took like 10 shots. Like that's an efficient 15. And that's his point is you average 15 points a game, but the offense does not run through you. It runs through Devin. It runs through CP3. And I'm not saying it shouldn't run through those guys, but I'm saying he also has a point that if he's only averaging 15 points a game and he's taking 10 to 12 shots, like the list of guys in the playoffs that have averaged 15 points a game and shot 60%, no one has done that more than DeAndre Ayton. And I'm talking about all-timers. I'm talking about Shaq. I'm talking about Kareem. No one's done that more than Ayton, and he's taken 12 shots.
Blissful Hayes has checked in. He didn't get in before the end of the last hour, so let me read that text first. Time Lord MVP, he was plus 21 with only 8 points last night. Then he says, why did Beavis Kerr pull his starters with 2:15 left in the game, only down 14 points? I thought they were down 18, but it doesn't matter, right? Talk about just giving up. How pathetic is that? Warriors look tired. Yeah, I would have to agree with you because the Warriors are faced against a bigger and more physical team in the Boston Celtics. And we will see what happens in game 4.
And I don't think people realize how many points 14 points is. That's a lot of points to make up when your team's not playing well. And I never fault a coach for looking at it and going, okay, we don't have it right now. And if I end up with a bunch of guys injured because I tried to find a way to get 14 points in 2 minutes in a game 3 of an NBA Finals, knowing I've got to figure out a way to tie this thing up in game 4, I'm never going to begrudge a coach from pulling the guys with 2 minutes left to go when you're down double digits. It's because double digits feels like you can just go on a nice little run and make that happen. But the way Boston was playing, they weren't making that back up.
The way Boston was playing and not giving up, they kept their foot on the gas.
Yeah.
They were still playing like it was the first quarter. Shooter McGavin, I'm not going to let you rain on our big story today of Radio Ron. I'm not going to let you rain on that, telling me about the no-tap league. I know what a no-tap league is. I bowled a little in my life. I'm not going to let you come on here and tell me that you knock down 9 pins and you get a strike, so it's not impressive. I'm not going to let you say that on live radio, Shooter McGavin. This is Radio Ron we're talking about here. A prolific bowling icon. Blissful Hayes, you play to win the game. Herm Edwards.
You play to win the series. That's the thing. The game, nice, win the game. But if you win the game at the cost of Steph Curry's foot doesn't look right now, Draymond Green's clearly out of it, and also he fouled out. I mean, how many starters did you even have left at that point? You play to win the series at this stage. The game, if you feel like the game's done, try to win game 4.
888-368-1580. Diamondbacks last night ended their losing skid of 4 games, finally defeating the hapless Cincinnati Red Stockings. It seemed to be a pretty good game by Merrill Kelly, but the offense just didn't show up until last night. Everything seemed to stem from a great play by Thomas in the first. The former Chicago White Sox went out there and made a great play. on a fly ball, taking a home run away from, I think it was Joey Votto. And then they ended up winning the game 7-0. They didn't have to come from behind. They got out in front. They stayed out front. Merrill Kelly looked strong, and the relievers didn't give it up. So that was last night. Now today, I should say, today the Diamondbacks. I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but today the Diamondbacks did it again. Today, the Diamondbacks went out and won the game today in Cincinnati.
This one was a come from behind.
It was a come from behind. It was 5-0 before the ninth inning. And with one out in the ninth, the Diamondbacks trailing by just a run at that point. Josh Rojas worked Tony Santillan to a full count, and then he took another fastball and hit it right past the drawn-in infield, which scored the tying run and the winning run. Diamondbacks win today 5-4, but it wasn't until the ninth inning before their damn offense got going. So there it is, just for Big George and other Diamondback fans out there. The Snakes are on the winning end now, have won 2 in a row, and they're heading to Philly. Tomorrow night, they take on the Philadelphia Phillies. In other news, the PGA has suspended all participants of the LIV Tour that began play today. Meanwhile, the LIV Tour calls the PGA vindictive. This is how this is going to go here, Keon. They're going to go back and forth. Mark Schlabach reports that Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, Ian Poulter, Lee Westwood, Sergio Garcia, all those guys have been suspended from the PGA Tour. Taylor Gooch, Brandon Grace, Martin Keimer, Graham McDowell, Phil Mickelson, Kevin Na, Louis Oosthuizen, Ian Poulter, Charles Schwartzel. These guys you're used to seeing. Lee Westwood on the PGA Tour. Yeah, guess what? They just got suspended. And according to the memo that ESPN obtained, they're no longer eligible to compete in tour events or the President's Cup.
That's pretty crazy. I don't know, but I don't know if I would say it's vindictive. This is a business decision on the part of the PGA. They want to be the only game in town.
Well, yes, but the PGA, I heard a really good podcast or a really good interview today on the Jim Rome show. And he had, what's his name from the Golf Channel on there. Can't think of his name right now. But he explained some of these players are really upset about how much money the PGA Tour brings in. But you go your entire year, you go your entire career playing for the PGA, and you might make, $10 million, $20 million. Yeah, you get sponsorships and stuff. But it depends on who you talk to. And now, like the NBA players, the NFL players, Major League Baseball players, these guys are making triple-digit millions of dollars in their contracts for only playing, a couple, 2, 3, 4 years. And these players are tired of the PGA getting rich off of these guys going out and play. Oh, boo-hoo. Keon, how much would you love to go out and play the Phoenix Open and make to play 4 days of golf and come home with a nice, crisp $100,000 check for just for showing up and playing in the Phoenix Open?
Boy, that sounds like a dream to me. And I understand where the players are coming from. I do, because I just think that they're looking at the people who run the PGA and looking at themselves and going, well, we're the damn product. So how come our cut of this is so small? And I think that when you have options, that's the one thing that the PGA didn't want anybody to have is options.
Well,
and
I get that.
They made the call.
And that's what I was saying yesterday on the air. I don't agree with the Saudi Arabian government and their treatment of people, of human beings. I don't agree with that. And I'm under the opinion that these guys, Phil Mickelson, Ian Poulter, Lee Westwood, Sergio Garcia, Dustin Johnson, these guys have been given a paycheck of some have reported Dustin Johnson has got $120 million to play one season in the Live Tour. One season. $120 million to go play golf. Phil Mickelson, it's been widely recorded that he had a $40 million gambling debt. $40 million in gambling.
I can't believe that.
These guys live a great life. Now, there are some guys on the tour that are just breaking in. They're just getting their way going. They're living in hotels out of the trunks of rental cars. I mean, it's not all glamour. It's not all private jets. It's not all Tiger Woods style lifestyle on the PGA Tour. And these guys are out there grinding it out, trying to get to a point where they can win some tournaments and, make some money and get their life, on track. But the Live Tour comes along and, offers these guys lucrative contracts to play. People have been very, critical of these golfers. And in some cases, I think it is true. But some of these other guys that are just kind of grinding it out, on the Corn Ferry Tour or something, making $40,000 a year, look it up. That's what these guys don't make huge money on the Corn Ferry Tour. And they're offered to go play in the Live Tour, and they're offered millions of dollars to play.
I mean, yeah, I think you have to at that point. If playing golf professionally is your goal, and I think that this is what the Live Tour has wanted to do. They wanted to get a big name, and they did in Dustin Johnson and a few other guys. They wanted to get those big names so that they could legitimize this thing, so that it could actually feel like, okay, that there's something here worth watching. And then you could fill in the gaps with a lot of these other guys who are maybe struggling on the PGA Tour. They go over and at least, they get paid to where they know, all right, I'm not going to, have to sweat whether or not I'm living in a decent hotel or a motel this golf tournament.
Yeah. I mean, Dustin Johnson has been very forthright. And the one thing I can respect about Dustin Johnson is, like, he made a decision. He resigned his PGA Tour card, and he said he made the decision based upon what's best for his family. He's taking the money. He hasn't made any excuses about it, where Phil Mickelson kind of gets up there. And I like Phil Mickelson, but come on, man. He gets up there and he's one thing is this, one thing is that, where he, I do care about their civil rights or their human rights issues, but at the same time, I'm still going to take their money. It spends as good as U.S. cash. Sergio Garcia couldn't wait to get out of the league. He said as much just 2 weeks ago in a tour event.
Sergio sounded too happy. Sergio was borderline thrilled.
Yeah. He's like, in 2 weeks, I'm not going to have to deal with you anymore. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of back and forth, a lot of lawsuits. And now you got Greg Norman, who is calling names to Jack Nicklaus. You know what? Leave Jack Nicklaus alone. Just leave him alone. The guy is standing on the PGA Tour. He's done more for this game, Norman, than you've ever done, that you could ever think about. Leave him alone. Quit calling him names. Just leave him out of it. You're just mad because he didn't take and come over onto your side of the ocean with you. Let's leave him alone. Just leave him the hell alone. He doesn't answer to you. He's one of the greatest golfers of our entire life.
He's made enough money. He's lived a great life. He is arguably the greatest of all time. What does he need to do this for? I don't understand that.
That's my point exactly.
He wasn't even rude about it.
Yeah, I don't want to talk any more golf. This is so toxic. But the Live Tour, of course, they're saying that this is PGA is just being vindictive because they're losing some of their top players, and some of their top players are saying, I don't want to be gone from the PGA. I want to play both. Why can't I play both? 888-368-1580. Let's take a quick look on the text line here. Big George, Randy, what does Sergio Garcia think about being suspended from the PGA? Good. I didn't want to play in this stupid league anyway. I'm glad to be out of there and go somewhere where I can make some real money. You know, my Mercedes-Benz doesn't fill up on its own, friend. That's what he thinks about it.
Damn, Sergio.
So Blissful Hayes says, so the PGA Tour doesn't want the Saudi golfers to live. I see what you did there. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? All right, that's it for segment 1 of hour 2 here on the Daily Blender. When we come back, we got some NFL talk to talk about. Keon, the Commandos took another shot today. We'll tell you what it was next on the Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Progressive presents today's to-do list for your cat.
Take a nap, meow till I get food, walk away from food, move to couch, see human, give cold shoulder. Take a nap, meow till I get
Your
food.
pet has a very busy schedule, so it's up to you to make sure they're protected. That's why Progressive Car Insurance covers your pets for up to $1,000 if they're ever in a car accident with you.
Move to couch, aggressively clean myself. Take a nap, meow till I get food.
Get coverage for your pets with anti-auto policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
For the latest in the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
When you run a business, you need to be in control. And while you can't control everything that happens in the world of business, you can definitely take control of your utility expenses with the help of Harmon Solar. Give them a call and see how your company can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
This is Joan, enjoying some me time up on the rim. This is Simon and his friends paddling the Salt River. And this is Brad. Brad is, well, no one knows where Brad is. What they all have in common is that they went to azmvdnow.gov to quickly and easily renew their registration or 30 other services. So go to azmvdnow.gov and get more time to enjoy all the things you love.
Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Your home has gone way up in value, but have you taken advantage of it? This is Rob Canier with a phenomenal opportunity to tap into some of your home equity, earning tax-free income and eliminating your mortgage payment while staying in your home as long as you want. With home prices leveling off, don't wait to learn more about the new reverse mortgage. This is a safe and proven money-saving and tax-free income opportunity for homeowners age 62 and older. Call me, Reverse Rob, and learn more today at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
Arizona Rattlers football.
Exclusively on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
And at 1580thefanatic.com.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Tune in to hear every home game live. Let's go, boys! Don't miss a second of all the high-paced action as the Rattlers chase another world championship.
Hey, we're going to win. It's going to be on us.
Rattlers football on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Or streaming live at 1580thefanatic.com.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender on this Thursday as we begin segment 2. Bad Flippers on the text line at 888-368-1580. I agree with Keon. Ayton is about as efficient as a player and has done everything his team has asked him to do. I think the Suns messed up paying other players before they secured Ayton Booker 1-2 punch. All Ayton and Booker need is a point guard to win a championship. Both players are in their early 20s. Once Paul got here, Suns were championship contenders. Just like the Cardinals are going to be sorry they picked Watt over Chandler Jones. Suns are going to be sorry they prioritized other players over DeAndre Ayton. And that's a great take. But the Suns weren't having success with just DeAndre and Booker. And they had tried different point guards in there. I mean, what are you going to do? You got to pay. Listen, I don't agree that you pay CP3, what was it, 110 million? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
110 over 3.
Check that though.
$110 million over 3 years. I think you you bid him farewell and you go get somebody on the free agent market to come in. But what do you lose when you lose CP3? You lose that kind of on-court coach, that motivator, a guy that's been around the league, that veteran presence. You bring in another point guard that maybe doesn't see, he doesn't gel with this team as much as CP3 does, and you lose that option.
And I'm not even thinking that they should move on from Chris Paul. And yeah, Chris Paul's contract was the 4-year, 120 mil. So they owe him next year 30 mil, and then potentially another 30 mil the season after that. But I think that they should start looking for the next young point guard.
Well, I agree.
So that they can get mentored by CP3. Because at some point that money is going to come off the books and you are going to have the cap space. And of course, I believe the cap's going to go up as well. I think you can afford to pay DeAndre Ayton the max, knowing that in a couple of years, Chris Paul's contract is going to come off the books.
But like you said, is DeAndre Ayton a good fit for Monty's offense for the Phoenix Suns?
I'm worried that he's not. I'm worried that he's not.
See, that's what I'm saying. Hefty Lefty at 888-368-1580. Suspending the players that already gave up their tour cards is the version of I quit. You can't quit because you're fired. Makes the PGA look like petty babies. Well, there you go.
Yeah, but this is, first off, they are. But that's not just what this is. Because this is a message to anybody else in the PGA who is maybe on the fence. You can go. You're never coming back.
Well, see, but I'm just asking, what's the situation, man? If these guys play the DP tour, which is the European tour, they play that. John Rahm goes over to Spain. He plays in the Spanish Open all the time. What's the problem? What is the issue here? Does it have to be either or can the PGA not work out some sort of working relationship with the Live Tour? Maybe it's the Live Tour being a bunch of jerks and the PGA doesn't want to work with them. I don't know.
I don't know all the details, but it seems to me like the PGA doesn't want to share with the Live Tour. And it's one thing to have those other tours, but they're not the PGA. So you're not threatened by them financially. You're not threatened by, they might actually take viewership away from us. The NFL has never had a league pop up that could actually compete. That's the reason why nobody cares about the USFL and nobody cares about the XFL. But say the USFL could compete. I bet you the NFL would be just as petty about who could go where, because you could potentially be taking viewership from us.
Seems to me that you would work something out, a working relationship. You already have it with the DP Tour. Maybe the DP Tour is actually part of the PGA Europe or something. I don't know. I don't know that much about it. All I know is, why can't we be friends? Why can't we work together? And why can't the golfers get a bigger share of winning, or a contract to be a part of this? Why does it have to be so damn exclusive? 888-368-1580. Keon, the Commandos in trouble again.
When are they not really?
The Washington Commandos must wait at least another year to learn whether they'll receive any funding for a new stadium in Virginia. The Commonwealth's General Assembly tabled legislation, it's easy for me to say, that would have determined the amount of support offered by Virginia. Democratic Senate Majority Leader Dick Saslaw. So like Sasquatch? Dick Sasquatch. No. Anyway, he told the AP that too many issues needed to be resolved, and also blamed the franchise's, quote, off the field controversies, end quote. So what's really happening here is your owner is getting in the way.
Again, when is he not? When is he not? This is the long running thing with him. He's made a lot of enemies over his time there. And also, when you start pitching the idea of, we need a new stadium and we'd like our stadium to be here, the idea is the stadium is going to show up there, and then people are going to come and spend money, and then businesses are going to pop up around the stadium, and you're going to have a bit of an economic boost in the area where the stadium is. You can't say that about this team right now. I remember when I was a kid, that you couldn't get season tickets for Washington. You couldn't. There were people who had kids that would just hand the season tickets to their kids. You could not get season tickets. There were waiting lists that were generations long. And over the course of my lifetime, that's no longer true. How are you going to pitch to anywhere, whether it's Virginia, whether it's DC, whether it's Maryland? How are you going to pitch to any of those entities that we're going to build a stadium here and people are going to show up and watch this team? How? With what track record? You don't have one. And that's before you get to, like he said, the off the field stuff where, you know, people were telling you your team name was racist for years, never wanted to change it. Heels were dug in on that. Finally, you get forced to change it to cover up some scandals. The scandals themselves are pretty atrocious. The stories that you hear coming out of that place, not good. So what do we have? What leverage do you have there? You know, and of course, between DC, Maryland, and Virginia, they all don't want you. You know, Maryland kind of wants you. They've got money that they've offered. There's some taxpayer money that they're willing to spend, less than other teams get, by the way. But that's about it. And even then, Washington would still have to find their own, you know, their own place, their own way in all of that. DC has made it abundantly clear they don't want them. So all that's left is Virginia, and Virginia's on the fence.
In a statement by the Commandos, they said they support the decision to postpone the vote and further examine the situation because of the, quote, complexity of this endeavor, coupled with the remarkable economic development opportunity that we believe our new venue project represents, end quote. You hear the salesman going there? I mean, you know, if we build this, it's going to be a wonderful economic boon for this county. The Commandos, they look forward to continued engagement and open dialogue with the stakeholders across the Commonwealth to share our vision and hear directly from communities on their economic development objectives and how we can be a trusted, reliable partner to realize those outcomes. You hear that? Washington recently purchased 200 acres of land in Woodbridge, Virginia, with the option of backing out if it doesn't get help from the state and Prince William County. The Commandos want to build a 55,000-seat domed stadium, along with an outdoor amphitheater that could hold around 15 to 20,000 people, as well as high-end shops, restaurants, bars, and a residential living. They would also move their practice facility to the site. The project would cost, a paltry $3 billion.
Who's going to pony up for that? Given
Come on,
everything that this team is.
Who wouldn't sign off on that?
Just, you know, they're not winning on the field. They are aggressively dodging scandals left and right off the field. Who would pay for this?
It sounds like something similar to what's going on over here in my neck of the woods. The stadium over, the Glendale Stadium over here, with all the amenities one could ask for, including high-end restaurants and bars and night clubs and an amphitheater and a nifty stadium with all state-of-the-art video graphics. Meanwhile, you kick the damn Coyotes to the curb and make them go play in Tempe. The least you could have done was extend the lease with them and let them stay there till they move the hell out. Jeez.
I don't understand that relationship between that stadium and the Coyotes. Completely bizarre. I like with Washington, I at least understand what's going on.
No,
it's Dan Snyder. Nobody likes him.
I know we don't talk a lot about the Coyotes, but I mean, since this new ownership group has taken, there's been a lot of issues.
Yeah.
It's not to the point of Dan Snyder and the Washington Commandos. The owner here, Mr. What's his name? Mr. Flores. What's his name? I can't remember now. He's not going about, in front of Congress with the NHL commissioner, but there's been a lot of speculation of some wrongdoing and some things happening.
Yeah.
And now Tempe's going to get saddled with him.
Apparently. I mean, there is something wrong when there is an entity that is a business that is literally like, no, we don't even want your money. You keep it. Go anywhere else. Keep it. We don't even want to be paid by you. Something is wrong. I can't tell you exactly what, but something's off about that. That entire relationship.
The Commandos wanted to move their former home at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C., but it's, quote, federally owned land, end quote. And there's a disagreement between the D.C. City Council and the mayor's office about how to use that land if Congress allowed them to buy it.
Simply put, they're not. They would
don't want them there.
That's their number one option. Like that's from what I understand, they would rather go back to RFK than any of the other options that they have.
The Commandos. Sorry, man.
It's not happening.
Nobody wants you.
So we're stuck with our sewage water stadium.
888-368-1580. Mr. Pringle, what's it going to take to get those Korean League cheerleaders in the MLB? Get it done, Randy, on the pronto. Yeah, you know, that's one thing during the I don't know if you were here, Keon. The only baseball that was going on was that Korean League baseball. And they had an empty stadium, and yet they had no less than like 10 cheerleaders, 5 per side, music going all the time, even when the pitcher's set and he's ready to go. They got this music going, and they're dancing, and there's a complete empty crowd, empty stadium. Nobody is there. But, man, those cheerleaders were working hard, man. Working hard for that money. Wow.
The Korean pop star cheerleaders. I'm telling you.
That's what we need, man. Don't we kind of have that? But, you know, don't all the teams have their form of that? The game crew, or what are the Diamondbackettes or something, that come out and throw T-shirts and stuff into the crowd and are a part of all the in between innings entertainment.
I think so. I just think that the Koreans take cheerleading way more seriously than
no kidding. Big George, also the PGA Tour is partnered with the PGA European Tour. So John Rahm is going over to Spain to play in the Spanish Open, is an affiliated event of the PGA Tour. In addition to the texter who said the PGA Tour revoking the tour cards of players participating in the LIV Tour is like saying, I'm resigning. The company saying, too late because you're fired. There were a lot of players, notably Phil Mickelson, who pussyfooted around whether they were going to resign from the PGA. This clarifies it. Phil Mickelson is dead to me. Go John Rahm. Yeah, I mean, Phil had said in his rambling, press conference there, he worked hard to have his lifetime tour card. He worked hard to achieve that. He worked hard, and he hopes to keep it, but he's not going to comment about it right now. Well, to me, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, he's done. PGA's going to kick him out.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle G at 888-368-1580. Amazing that Snyder can come up with billions for a new stadium, but can't figure out how to spend a couple million to repair and maintain his current one. He doesn't want to. He wants a shiny new stadium with all the bells and whistles.
And that's not even exclusive to Dan. Every owner whose stadium is older than 20 years old is looking around, trying to see if they can't have the latest new stadium, because the latest new stadium, you get a lot of things going for you. You get a lot,
including
more.
Super Bowls.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Super Bowls get to show up at your doorstep. They will never, ever, ever allow FedEx Field to host the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Not ever. But if you refurbish RFK, build that out, or if you are able to get the land in Virginia, or if Maryland lets you build a stadium, then you get to pitch. Let's get a Super Bowl. Let's get a draft out here, since we're moving that around every year. They're not doing that at FedEx.
No. All right, we got to take a break. Don't forget, coming up here on the Daily Blender, Angel Hernandez is alleging that the MLB is manipulating umpire reviews so that minorities cannot be crew chiefs. That's around the corner. And up next here, before the 4:00 hour, NFL rookies who were picked on day 2 and beyond that could be key players for their team. We'll get into that discussion right around the corner here on the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Hi, this is Nick LaCapria with the Daily Sports Quiz. Can you name what Dodgers manager won the only Dodger World Series title in Brooklyn? That answer is coming up on the Daily Sports Quiz.
Nick LaCapria's Daily Sports Quiz brings you a different question from the world of sports each day. If you want even more questions from the world of sports, visit Nick LaCapria's new website, sportstrivia.org. You can test your sports trivia knowledge and get answers to some great questions from the world of sports trivia. Sportstrivia.org. It's free, it's fun, and it's challenging. If you like the Daily Sports Quiz, you'll love sportstrivia.org.
The answer to today's Daily Sports Quiz: name the Dodger manager to win the only Dodger World Series title in Brooklyn. The great Walter Alston, remembered for his legendary string of one-year contracts. He, of course, eventually became the manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code EARN for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's promo code EARN. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code EARN for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code EARN for a $5 bonus.
Progressive presents today's to-do list for your cat.
Take a nap, meow till I get food, walk away from food, move to couch, see human, give cold shoulder. Take a nap, meow till I get
Your
food.
pet has a very busy schedule, so it's up to you to make sure they're protected. That's why Progressive Car Insurance covers your pets for up to $1,000 if they're ever in a car accident with you.
Move to couch, aggressively clean myself. Take a nap, meow till I get food.
Get coverage for your pets with anti-auto policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
If you're an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits and the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
This is Brian Musburger. Don't miss Pro Football Blitz, Saturday afternoons, right here on Arizona's sports betting station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
This baseball season, swing for the fences on FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up with promo code Randy1580 to get in on the action. FanDuel lets you bet the money line, home run props, strikeout totals, and a whole lot more. Listen, I would take maybe I would take a game where two teams that I've been following along with, or a team I've been following along with, and I might take a guy I know. I feel like he's going to have a home run, and then I've got a pitcher that he's going to be on the hill for this next game, and he's going to go over 6 strikeouts in the game, and then maybe there's a call up. A AAA guy, he's just been raking the ball down in AAA, and he's coming up and he's red hot. He's got a good record against this pitcher, and you pick him to get a hit. Well, then, bam, you just built yourself a same game parlay. If you haven't tried FanDuel, now's the perfect time to give it a shot. Just join with promo code Randy1580 and turn a $5 bet into $200 in free bets, win or lose, exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Remember, you must be 21 or older, present in Arizona, online, real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. I said that backwards. Sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. All right, Berg is calling it a day. Chemo kicking in. Berg, rest well, my friend. Rest well and get well soon. 888-368-1580. So, Keon, I was going through CBS Sports earlier today, and I ran across this very interesting article. Chris Trapasso it was talking about some of these guys that these teams picked up in day 2 of the NFL draft that might be key players for their teams moving forward. For example, the Dallas Cowboys drafted Jalen Tolbert. He was picked number 88, third round. One of the stats you need to know is he had 16 catches of 20 yards or more at South Alabama in 2021. So now if you have him with Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper is not there, and you put this guy, plug this guy in, bam, suddenly you've got a potential key player on your lineup, another target for Dak Prescott to look for. And you give yourself great options. So what are some of these other key players that you see on this list here, or maybe some you don't see here that you remember from the draft that could be key players for their team? And let's start with your team, the Washington Commandos.
Yeah, they had on the list there Brian Robinson Jr. And I think that's an underrated pick for them. He's out of Alabama. He is a running back who stayed there all 4 years. He was there behind a lot of other big names, and he didn't get to play very much his freshman year or his sophomore year, and he kind of broke in his junior year, and then really was able to take the mantle his senior year. But this guy just gets yards, just a consistent 6 to 7 yards a carry kind of guy. He's not very shifty. He's more of a big bruising type of back, and I think that helps Washington a lot because they need somebody to pair with Antonio Gibson, who they have in there. And I also think that, he takes some pressure off of Gibson because Gibson is a converted wide receiver to running back, So some of these hits, he misses 3 or 4 games a year, despite the fact that I think he actually does well as a running back because he just isn't used to taking the hits. Well, you got a bell carrier in Brian Robinson who can take those hits and keep on trucking. It helps that running back room. You add him to JD McKissick and Gibson. I think that's really, really useful for them. Another one that stands out to me, Philadelphia Eagles and Nakobe Dean. I thought Nakobe Dean was a top 15 talent. That was the way Georgia's defense was played. I thought Nakobe Dean was a top tier talent. And I think a lot of teams got scared by the shoulder injury that he had. And I think that a lot of teams also were concerned with, was it the linebacker group that was good at Georgia, or was it that defensive line? Who was making who great? And I think a lot of people lean towards that defensive line. But I saw Nakobe Dean as a guy who was instinctual, always made the right play. And there's some wild stories about Nakobe Dean coming out of Georgia. Like the very first day when he was a freshman, all the freshmen come in and they're getting them out there, just try and get them some reps, get them used to playing. And Nakobe Dean was lining everybody up as a freshman first week he was there. And the coaches were like, how do you know where to be? And he was like, oh, I memorized the playbook already. In a week, he has a photographic memory. Basically, he already knew the playbook. So Philadelphia has gone in and they got Jordan Davis, one of the guys from his defensive line. They put that guy in front of him, and then you're adding now Nakobe Dean to the back of that defense, who's going to come in and day one already know where to be, already know where to line up. I think that is a very awesome pick for them. I like the Vikings, Andrew Booth. Another dude that I'm stunned was a day 2 dude. I really thought he was a first rounder. That's a tremendous steal for the Vikings. And I think the Vikings need that defense to be boosted up again. I think they lost a lot of talent over the years. You get a corner who I think is a first round talent guy, like a legitimate, if you develop him properly, a legitimate shutdown corner. They got him with the 42nd pick. So that to me is a huge steal. I really like Andrew Booth there. I thought Andrew Booth was going to be a first rounder. I'm stunned by it.
Well, what about, okay, so let's do a comparison. If you wanted to know about Arizona's drafting prowess compared to, last year's Western Division champs and Super Bowl champs, the Los Angeles Rams. And I have that because they're right next to each other in this article. But the Cardinals picked Myjai Sanders, number 100 in the 3rd round, who is impressive in his own right, but he looks like a He looks like a skinny tight end on the
Mhm.
field, but he knows how to use his hands, and he's athletic enough. He can move big blockers around to get in, and 62 pressures on 89 pass rush snaps at Cincinnati in 2021. I mean, this guy is he's pretty good at what he's doing. He's keenly aware of how to utilize his hands to beat blockers, never takes a play off. What else is good for him is he's got Cam Thomas, another edge rusher that the Cardinals picked up to try to fill that massive hole of losing Chandler Jones. And now let's look at the Los Angeles Rams. So keep that, Myjai Sanders in a pin there and pin it there.
Mm-hmm.
But let's look at the Los Angeles Rams. They pick up Logan Bruce. Anyway, he's a big kid. He was picked up 104th in the third round. In his time, here's his impressive stat to know. He only allowed 9 pressures, including no sacks, on 275 pass blocking snaps at Wisconsin in 2021. Now, why am I picking a third round edge rusher when clearly I need offensive line help? And this guy is penciled in to be a starter for the Rams. See, this is how the Rams beat our ass every year. And why didn't we see this? What's wrong? And which one of these guys would you rather have for the Arizona Cardinals?
I mean, for the Cardinals, I would rather have Logan Bruss just because he's a day one player. I do think that Myjai Sanders can turn into something. I don't want to scrap him immediately. He's a very talented player. There's a reason why the Cincinnati Bearcats were able to make the college football playoff. They had talented dudes. I think more guys with high level talent than most schools that size wind up having. And he's part of the reason why. But it's going to be a year or two before Myjai Sanders reaches the potential you want him to have because he is skinny. He's going to have to add muscle onto that frame to give you what you want. So to fill the shoes of Chandler Jones, sure, but that's not for another 2 years maybe, where Logan Bruss comes in right away. He comes from Wisconsin, the pedigree of offensive linemen coming out of the University of Wisconsin, well known. That's what they make there. Kids grow up in Wisconsin wanting to go to Wisconsin and be linemen. That is an actual thing that happens that almost nowhere else in the country does that actually happen. But he's a great run blocker. And because he was at Wisconsin, he's a great run blocker and loves to do run blocking. I mean, this guy could be multi-dimensional for us, and the Rams end up with. What are we doing? That I cannot tell you. Because I don't know what the board looked like for the Cardinals and what they really liked, or if they felt like, okay, we've got a gem here in Myjai Sanders. Whatever it is, because Sanders is damn good. Sanders is damn good. And whenever you can draft an edge rusher, you don't have to teach technique to. Like that guy just comes in right away and has it. I think that there's incredible value there. But I also think that the Cardinals are trying to operate with the assumption they're a championship caliber team right now. That's what the whole contract dispute with Kyler Murray is all about.
Boy, I wouldn't say that.
I'm not saying that it's true. I'm saying that that's the way they seem to be operating. They're not trying to do a long-term build with some of the decisions that they're making. If you're doing a long-term build, you don't trade for Hollywood Brown. So they're trying to win and keep Kyler happy and all of that stuff right now. Well, if that's the goal right now, I don't know how you don't go talented offensive lineman. I don't know how you don't go guy with tremendous pedigree, great run blocker because he was at Wisconsin. And of course, the pass blocking numbers are insane for him. He doesn't give up sacks.
Yeah.
He just doesn't give them up.
And we passed on him.
And they're both third rounders. Like once you get to that point where the gap between those two guys can't have been that big unless they just really didn't like Logan.
888-368-1580. Big George says, wow, shocking that Steve Keim didn't address the team's needs on the offensive line in the draft. It's like he's drunk half the time. Well, hefty lefty, those Wisconsin boys go from bailing hay to bailing people. Yeah.
I mean, they are people destroyers up there. And it's
we passed on one sitting there.
Yeah.
I I don't want to be too negative here. I just don't know what to say. I don't know why do we miss out on guys like this? Anyway, 888-368-1580. Texting your comments, your thoughts. We're talking about NFL players who were drafted late, second, third, fourth round, that could be key players for their team now. How about the Chicago Bears' Braxton Jones? He was taken 168 overall in the fifth round. He was a redshirt sophomore and started 4 games at left tackle during his impressive junior season. Jerry Jones and Larry Borum will duke it out for one of the starting tackle gigs in 2021. Chicago Bears got Braxton Jones. I'm just trying to figure out why do we help me out, Keon?
I mean, Braxton's got the measurables. There's just not a whole lot on him. So that would be the reason. That would be the reason why you could be afraid of a Braxton Jones. Is there's just not a whole lot of tape there. What's there is great, but sample size is really, really small. Like I could see that scaring away a team or scaring the Cardinals away from that. But I just find it hard to believe that you're in a situation where offensive line is one of your biggest weaknesses, especially, that guard spot, but you start going to the left side of that line, it ain't great. How are you passing on all these guys? That is concerning.
All right, 888-368-1580. That's the text line. As we move on, we were talking about rookies who were picked on day 2 and beyond that could be key players for their teams this NFL season. Guys to keep your eyeballs on. I am going to miss that rookie that is going to be starting for the damn Los Angeles Rams. The rich just get richer, don't they? Mm-hmm. Angel Hernandez is upset with the NFL. He says that he's baseball. Yeah, I'm sorry, the MLB. He's filing a second circuit court of appeals discrimination case against the MLB, and he's saying that the MLB is changing his, in other words, his reviews that he gets. That Joe Torre has a beef against him based upon a call that he made against Joe Torre and the Yankees way back when. So I will give you all the details when we get around the corner here. But Angel Hernandez is upset that he's not a crew chief. And damn it, he should be a crew chief based upon his great performance and his abilities, damn it. We'll talk about that around the corner. It's hour 2 down, 1 to go here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. This baseball season, swing for the fences on FanDuel Sportsbook. Randy here from the Daily Blender. And right now, new customers get $200 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up with promo code Randy1580 to get in on the action. FanDuel lets you bet the money line, home run props, strikeout totals, and so much more. Plus, you can combine your bets for an even bigger payday with same game parlay. If you haven't tried FanDuel, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. Just join with promo code Randy1580 and turn a $5 bet into $200 in free bets, win or lose, exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. 21 and older, present in Arizona, first online real money wager only, $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342.
Progressive presents today's to-do list for your cat.
Take a nap, meow till I get food, walk away from food, move to couch, see human, give cold shoulder. Take a nap, meow till I get
Your
food.
pet has a very busy schedule, so it's up to you to make sure they're protected. That's why Progressive Car Insurance covers your pets for up to $1,000 if they're ever in a car accident with you.
Move to couch, aggressively clean myself. Take a nap, meow till I get food.
Get coverage for your pets with anti-auto policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Business people like it straight and to the point. So here it is. Bruce Jacobs here to tell you take control of your utility expenses by calling Harmon Solar right now. They can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Level your energy costs, protect yourself from inflation. How's that for straight and to the point? Here's more. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
If you're worried about your investments, you're not alone. These are challenging times, but it's not time to panic. It's time to act.
Hello, I'm Mo Ansari, founder and president of Compact Asset Management. With over 40 years of experience in the financial markets, I've seen what panic, indecision, and bad advice can do to investments. When markets are up, especially when they're down, it is important to be decisive yet balanced. That's our approach at Compact Asset Management. Call my office today at pound 250 and say talk to Mo. We will discuss a proactive, balanced approach to your portfolio that can help safeguard your investments and keep you on track with your financial goals. Call pound 250 on your cell phone and say talk to Mo, and let's create a strategy for your investments today. Again, from your cell phone, call pound 250 and say talk to Mo.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA, SIPC.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
Welcome to hour number 3 of this Thursday, June 9th edition of the Daily Blender as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. My name is Randy White. That is the sexiest man in broadcast radio right there, Keon Rose. Jeffrey O'Brien is on assignment and will be coming back at some point. He's over in Palm Springs taking care of our sister station. Maybe a bad choice of words there. Jeffrey is working on our... Yeah, it's probably not going to work either. Just know he's working. He's working long and hard to get that. Another maybe a bad one. 888-368-1580 is the text line. That's for the fourth dimension to come in join us on the show. We've had a lot of activity today. Don't forget our big story today. Radio Ron, and his no tap league named the Big Johnsons. Bowled a sanctioned 300-point game last night. 300 game last night. That's a perfecto. That's a perfect game. This outing helps put the Big Johnsons into first place. And in this league, he's known as Hugh Johnson. The others are Dick, Harry, and Stubby Johnson. Now, Radio Ron, we all know, a prolific bowler, and his bowling skills were on showcase back in 2013 when he bowled a fully perfecto. Yeah, 300 game, or for reals 300 game back in the day in 2013. So congratulations, Radio Ron and the Big Johnsons, on your perfecto last night. I'm still efforting to get Ron to send me where the bowling lanes are. Big George has said maybe it's the original Bill Johnson's Big Apple, where they go bowling with their big balls on the Big Johnsons. I don't think that's the case. I don't recall 37th Street in Van Buren having a bowling alley. Am I wrong there, Keon? You've never been down there, have you?
No, I haven't. So I can't tell you. Doesn't seem like it though. Like, yeah, that's where that would be, but I don't know.
Big story of the day, Radio Ron and the Big Johnsons scoring a perfecto. I was teasing before we went to break here. Veteran umpire Angel Hernandez has accused Major League Baseball of manipulating its umpiring reviews to prevent minority umpires from becoming crew chiefs in a legal filing, according to The Athletic. Hernandez filing with the Second Circuit Court of Appeals stems from a discrimination case he brought against MLB back in 2017. That case was dismissed by U.S. District Court Judge J. Paul Oetken. In March of 21, Oetken's decision read in part, the explicit reason MLB offers that, according to Torrey, Hernandez has not demonstrated the leadership ability and situation management skills in critical high-pressure roles on a consistent basis is presented in clear and specific terms. In other words, Joe Torrey said that Angel Hernandez is not fit to be a crew chief.
And apparently had enough evidence to prove it.
Hernandez and his lawyer, Kevin Murphy, made the following argument as part of their appeal. The district court also failed to give appropriate weight to evidence of MLB's disparate treatment of Mr. Hernandez, including evidence that the MLB was manipulating the performance of Mr. Hernandez and other minority umpires to make their performance look worse. End quote.
Mm-hmm. Name them. Name them, Angel. Name the other umpires. Because so in the NFL, you've got the current case that's brewing with Brian Flores in the league about, well, you know, the minority coaches not having certain opportunities. And you know what Brian Flores?
You stink. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
You know what, Angel? You know what Brian Flores was able to do? He was actually able to get a few other coaches that had similar stories.
Yeah.
So this is what I want from Angel Hernandez.
Mm-hmm.
Angel
Hernandez, you stink.
Yeah. Name them. Name them. Who are these other umpires who are not getting their opportunities because they're minorities? Because I have a very good reason why. It's not Angel.
Hernandez argument claims that there was a disconnect between his midseason umpire reviews and those that came at season's end. Hernandez alleges that the midseason reviews were always positive, but that the league then altered its evaluations to make them look worse and to prevent him from climbing the ladder. Are you kidding me? You're saying that the MLB is going in and doctoring these to make them look bad just so you cannot be a crew chief on these umpiring crews. Hernandez first filed suit in 2017. He noted that MLB had employed just one minority crew chief in its league's 150 years of existence. During the pandemic-shortened 2020 season, Hernandez was named an interim crew chief due to other umpires opting out of assignments. In the past, Hernandez has suggested that MLB executive Joe Torre has a grudge against him based upon a call he made against the New York Yankees while Torre was the team's manager. Are you kidding me?
I don't even know where to start.
Angel Hernandez he doesn't even know what the strike zone is.
Angel Hernandez might actually have a point, and it would be irrelevant because his name is synonymous with bad officiating. He is the worst umpire, or at least known as the worst umpire in the sport. And we don't get
Angel Hernandez, you stink. I wonder where that came from.
Yeah. Gotta let it play every time. But look, we're not seeing the doctored footage as fans. We're just watching the games. And Angel Hernandez is bad in the games.
Angel Hernandez, you stink. Yeah. That sounds like a very angry fan. And if you listen to that clip, let me turn it up for you. If you listen to that clip, you can actually hear Angel Hernandez laughing at this fan as he drives away. Angel Hernandez, you stink, and I don't like you. You can kind of hear him in the background driving away in his car, laughing. You think this is funny, Angel?
You know, has baseball had a lack of representation of minority umpires in the 100+ year history of this sport? Of course it has. That does not include Angel Hernandez because he's bad at his job.
You know what the problem is, Angel? Let me explain to you. Sit down and listen as I explain to you the problem with umpires in the major league. What happens is when they become an umpire, much like yourself, it's a long ass time before somebody retires or dies behind the plate or is fired. And I've never heard of any umpire being suspended or fired. I've heard of one guy died behind the plate on opening day. And then I've heard a lot about you and your inconsistent, horrible strike zone.
Angel Hernandez, you stink,
yeah,
and
see?
I don't like you.
See, that's what I'm talking about, Angel. The proof is in the pudding, my friend.
It just looks really bad when you accuse Major League Baseball of doctoring footage, and you've gone to court with them before, and the court agreed with Major League Baseball before that you sucked at being an umpire, and they're probably going to agree again if they've got any eyes, because that's the evidence that we all have when we watch Angel Hernandez behind the plate, is we've got two eyeballs, and we just see him missing the strike zone, or it's inconsistent. It's too big. It's too small. He's bad. He's just a bad umpire.
And then he just laughs when somebody has a problem. Hernandez has been an MLB umpire since 1993, but he hasn't worked a World Series since 2005. Oh, so he has worked a World Series, huh? Thanks for coming, but yeah, we won't ask you again.
Hope you had fun.
Hope you enjoyed it, but yeah, we won't be asking you to come again. Big George. Wow, so not only are Major League Baseball umpires like Angel Hernandez so bad at calling balls and strikes, are untouchable to any disciplinary action and eject players and managers at the snap of a finger, they actually have a gall to sue and try to get promotions to crew chief. Hey, newsflash, Angel Hernandez, you're bad at your job. You don't deserve a promotion.
And I'll add to that, you don't get to use racial injustice as a cover because you suck. That's come on. that's where I have a problem here. You're using something to say, well, minorities are underrepresented. And there is an actual point there. It's just not your point, because that's not why anybody's not choosing you.
Yeah. Hefty Lefty, when most of the public sides with MLB and Rob Manfred over your gripe, you should probably take the hint and realize that your case doesn't hold water. Dude, you aren't a crew chief because you consistently make some of the worst calls in the sport. I mean, that's telling it like it is right there.
Like that's your reputation. And that's your reputation based on what fans see. Again, we don't see the review footage. So Major League Baseball isn't putting this out to us to smear Angel Hernandez.
Oh, no,
we just see the raw games and go, oh, man, that dude's awful.
Oh, well, like this fan here.
Angel Hernandez, you stink, and I don't like you.
Yeah, see? I think that's a majority vote there. I mean, if you put this before the fans.
He wouldn't be an umpire at all, much less a crew chief.
See, that's what I think Major League Baseball should do. I've been struggling with what they should do about these umpires that just don't care. They show up and get a game check, and that's it. I think you should let the fans review these umpires. Oh, geez. Now we're talking. Everybody has an app, and I know we can do this. Everybody has an app. How would you rate Angel Hernandez's performance tonight? 1, extraordinary. 2, it was good. 3 was okay. 4, miserable. 5, fire his ass. See what I'm saying? I'm going 5 every time.
I'm thinking the over-under on how long Angel Hernandez has a job, if that app exists. I don't even think he makes it a week. I don't think he makes it a week.
888-368-1580. Talking about Angel Hernandez griping, whining, because he's not a crew chief. And can you believe this kind of business? People that are not even baseball fans, Keon, will tell you Angel Hernandez is a horrible Major League Baseball umpire.
My brother does not watch baseball. My brother knows who Angel Hernandez is. That is a problem.
See?
Because he's heard me yelling at my TV before.
Dick Whiskers says, I thought the league had finally gotten rid of Angel Hernandez. I've seen better officiating in the 8th grade girls basketball games. Wow. Jagdog says, Randy, he's commenting about our lead story today. Randy, I bowled a real 300 about a month ago. It only took me 38 years to do it, and I was pretty intoxicated. Well, there you go, Jagdog. Congratulations.
Well done.
Well done, sir.
Hats off to you.
That's fantastic. Bowling is a sport that's dying in this country. I wish we could revive it. Such a great sport. Everybody gets together. Everybody drinks beers. They eat horrible food, greasy fries and hamburgers and stuff from the bowling alleys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That intoxicating smell of those bowling shoes behind the counter, just developing mold and fungus. I mean, come on.
And the Lysol spray that they barely spray anything in there, so it doesn't do anything. Yeah,
absolutely. A carpet that's at least 115 years old. Looks like it's been in a skating rink before he got to the bowling alley. You know what I mean? Wow. 888-368-1580. Angel Hernandez, he's mad and he doesn't care. Who knows about it? Draymond Green was asked last night about his podcast. Apparently, Yahoo Sports picked up this story. Draymond Green at the center of the NBA Finals again, but not for his play on the court. Again, following an abysmal Game 3 where the Golden State forward fouled out with just 2 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists in 35 minutes, and his team lost 116-110 and is down 2-1 to the Celtics. Green responded to a question concerning his weekly podcast, Draymond Green Show. Bleacher Report's Jack Fisher asked Green if he thought what he said on his podcast before Game 3 affected the way the Celtics played against the Warriors, particularly with his breakdown of how to defend Derek White, Marcus Smart, and Al Horford. Green appeared a bit perturbed by the question, asserted that his comments on the podcast weren't any different from what he would say at the podium after the game and likely wouldn't have affected the Celtics' Game 3 strategy. He did, however, appreciate Fisher's organic promotion of his podcast. So if Draymond goes on his podcast and he releases this to the public, and he says some things on how the Warriors are going to attack these 3 players on the Celtics, and you're the Celtics. Who on the Celtics is not, subscribing to Draymond Green, the Draymond Green Show?
I would. Maybe I can get a nugget or two. I don't know that the Celtics are basing their game plan around what Draymond Green says on the podcast necessarily. Just if for no other reason, and he's not going into X's and O's on the podcast. I know because I happen to listen to the.
Do you really? You listen to the podcast? So yeah. Did you hear the one that we're talking about?
I did. Yeah. And I don't think he got into X's and O's. Just this is the stuff that we want to do, and it seems like it would be obvious. Like some of the stuff that the adjustments they want to make, but he doesn't go, I don't think, that far into specifics to where the Celtics could listen to it and then build an entire game plan around it. But it is an interesting world we live in, that a guy is currently in an NBA Finals and actively doing a podcast on the NBA Finals, because he was breaking down all the playoff series throughout the whole playoffs. That's why I actually started listening.
Steve Kerr was asked about the podcast, and Steve Kerr said, quote, "I don't listen to the podcast, so I don't know what he said on there." Damn. that is
straight fire.
Yeah, it is. Your own coach don't listen to your podcast, brother. I don't listen to the podcast, so I don't know what he said on there. It doesn't bother me, Kerr said after the game. It's 2022. It's a different world. Players are part of the media now. It is what it is. Sounds like he doesn't really want him to do this podcast, and he really doesn't want to talk about their game plan against Al Horford and the rest of these guys on the Celtics.
No, probably not. But Draymond is incredibly open, probably too open for his own good, because I do believe him when he says that there's nothing in that podcast that if they would have asked him on the podium after the game, he wouldn't have said.
Yeah.
But does it feel good if you're a coach going, there's a guy that's just blabbing everything that I'm saying? But he's been doing it the entire playoff run. I've been listening to him through the whole Warriors Dallas series. He said what they wanted to do to Luka. They did it. Mavs couldn't really stop it.
If these guys, Draymond and some of these guys, which, listen, I'm on board with canning this whole media availability after the game. This is an instant news world. And you can ask these guys for an interview to be on the networks that are covering the damn thing, or you can ask for an interview, or you can catch him in the locker room and then get out of his way. I don't think that having these guys come out here and talk to media at one point and have media ask questions like that, to me, this is kind of a stupid question. I mean, it's kind of a dumb question. Do you think Draymond Green is going to go on his podcast and reveal the game plan against the Celtics?
I just don't see that happening. And I listened to it. He does talk about what they want to do, and I listened to the one he did today.
But who doesn't do that?
That's what I'm saying. That's pretty much available, and it's a 7-game series. Do you think the Celtics don't know what the Warriors want to do? And do you think the Warriors don't have a clue what the Celtics would like to do?
Come on, man.
It's just, as Bryce Harper once said, that's a clown question, bro.
Yeah, it is. That's a bad question. 888-368-1580. Mr. Pringle says, I was in a bowling league years ago. Our drinking team had a bowling problem. So true of bowling teams. I mean, drinking teams. Megatron says, Daily Blender, bowling night, sign me up. All right. Got you on the list here. We're trying to get a hold of Radio Ron to see if he will he'll give us the details. Keon and I want to go have a picture and watch the Big Johnson's bowl. Yeah. I wonder if they have bowling shirts. Like back in the day, you'd have these custom made bowling shirts.
Oh, I sure hope so.
Like
in the Big Lebowski, they all match with the bowling shirts. Yeah.
The Big Johnsons, on some script, font on the back, and it says Hugh.
Yeah.
Hi, Hugh. Hugh what? Hugh Johnson. Wow. Damn. You go rolling in there on a Wednesday night. Got your bowling bag and your shoes and stuff, so you don't have to wear those fungi-filled shoes they have behind the counter there. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, on this date in Big Georgia sports history around the corner, Wheel of Sports, I got a couple other stories here, and we're going to rank the NFC's quarterbacks right now and see if you agree with CBS Sports. That's around the corner on the Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
One of the most common questions people ask is if they can still afford to retire on $1 million or $2 million anymore. With stocks near all-time highs and bonds at all-time lows, it's actually a great question. 2008 taught millions of retiring engineers, teachers, and other professionals a costly lesson that years of market gains can be wiped out in just weeks of market losses. Not a problem if you're 30 years old with a few decades to make it back, but not if you are in retirement or almost there. I like to follow the 30, 50, 70 rule. The closer you are to 50 or 70, then at least 30 to 50% of your money should be kept safe at all times, like in an uncapped, principal secure, next generation annuity. Come and see why.
Call leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now at 480-902-3333. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so compare with Steve. Call 480-902-3333 and visit iqannuity.com.
What if I told you there's a wealth management firm that offers a 100% satisfaction guarantee? Think it doesn't exist? Think again.
Hi, I'm Mo Ansari, president of Compact Asset Management. When you start a new relationship with Compact, we'll create your customized investment portfolio and financial plan dedicated to help you reach your goals. Try us out for a year. If you're not happy for any reason, you'll get all of the management and maintenance fee that you paid refunded. This is our 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Dial pound 250 on your cell phone and use the keyword Talk to Mo to find out more. Again, from your cell phone, dial pound 250, keyword Talk to Mo. Satisfaction guarantee doesn't apply to fees and commissions charged by third parties for such things as insurance products or mutual fund redemptions. It also doesn't apply to any market losses which might occur in an account. For additional information regarding this guarantee, please see the disclosure brochure available at the time you enroll or upon request.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor. Funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
easy.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic is your exclusive home for the 6-time world champion Indoor Football League's Arizona Rattlers.
All right, listen up.
Tune in to The Fanatic for all the fast-paced, hard-hitting action. Listen as the Rattlers work toward the playoffs and their 7th world championship in team history.
Let's keep it going.
Arizona Rattlers football, exclusively on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic and at 1580thefanatic.com.
Did you roll over your earphone cable? Yeah, I've done that before. It stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not fun.
All right, welcome back to the Daily Blender on this Thursday. We're in the second segment of our final hour, and we've been talking a lot about Major League Baseball's Angel Hernandez, which always seems to get people, fired up. If you've got a comment, 888-368-1580. But right now, we're gonna get into a discussion like we did yesterday. The AFC quarterbacks right now, the top AFC quarterbacks right now, kind of ranking them where we think they should go. CBS Sports did this today again. The top NFC quarterbacks right now. I will read you the list, Keon, and then we can attack from there. So tied for 14th, Marcus Mariota of the Falcons, Geno Smith of the Seahawks, Sam Darnold as of the Panthers, which I submit to you right now. When Jeffrey calls me out for having a tie in one of your top 5 at 5 or, 4 quarters, and there's a list of my favorites and I have a tie. See there, it's okay.
That's true. I don't think Jeffrey's going to accept that.
I don't really care what he accepts because I'll do it anyway. Because I'm a man, I do what I want.
But it happens.
Tied 14th, Mariota of the Falcons, Geno Smith, Seahawks, Sam Darnold, Panthers. All right. 13, Daniel Jones of the Giants. 12, Jared Goff of the Lions. 11, Justin Fields of the Bears. Trey Lance, 10 of the 49ers, which stop there for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Find that interesting. You don't see Jimmy Garoppolo's name on there.
No.
Jimmy's
out there.
9, Jameis Winston of the Saints. 8, Carson Wentz of the Commandos. 7, Jalen Hurts of the Eagles. 6, Kirk Cousins of the Vikings. 5, it's little itty bitty Kyler Murray of the Arizona Cardinals. 4, Dak Prescott of the Cowboys. 3, Matthew Stafford of the Rams. That's surprising. 2, Aaron Rodgers. And number 1, you know him, you love him, Super Bowl champion. He's all the rave, married to a supermodel, retired for a minute and came back. Tom Brady of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, with this list out in front of you, we don't even know. We don't even need to go to 14. I think that sums it up there. Or do you think that Daniel Jones should be 14?
No, Daniel Jones is fine at 13. He's better than all those other guys. I wouldn't necessarily tie those other guys. Yeah. I mean, Daniel Jones's problem is that he cannot stop throwing interceptions, but he will at least throw the ball. Sam Darnold is from game to game a disaster. Geno is okay. He's just very okay. And Mariota's okay, but I think he's got more upside than Geno. Daniel's better than those guys because I think he does have tremendous upside. He's got a big arm. He does understand the game, but he's so confident in his arm, he'll try and fit the ball into windows that he has no business trying to do that. And he's been in the league 4 years now. There's no reason for him to try to do that and to have not learned not to do that by now. So he is better than those other guys, but he's 13's fine for him.
All right, Jared Goff at 12. You happy with that?
I am happy with that. From what he showed last year, he showed that he had moments, and he didn't really have a ton of weapons. I'll give him that, but he didn't do anything that really wowed anybody until late in the season when they were able to win a couple of games. But yeah, Jared Goff at 12, it makes perfect sense.
And Justin Fields at 11.
Again, makes perfect sense. I would love to say that Justin should be higher because I really like Justin and I think the potential is there for him to be higher. But if we're just ranking based on what he did last year and then just doing just a little bit of projection of how he's supposed to grow, I'm not really going to throw him up higher on this list.
So do you think that Trey Lance is better than Justin Fields? Justin Fields has been on the field longer than Trey Lance.
I almost put Trey Lance in this Kenny Pickett field where we did yesterday, where he's barely played.
Yeah.
He's been situationally, he's been in spots. I don't know if I can tell you what Trey Lance is. I can't tell you if Trey Lance is better than Justin Fields right now, based on what I've seen. I think he might be, but I've seen very little of Trey Lance. I've seen a lot of Justin Fields. Yeah. So I almost don't even want to rank him.
So the surprise for me is Jameis Winston at 9, coming off a career in Tampa Bay where he threw as many picks as he did touchdowns, and then went on a year hiatus and sat behind Drew Brees in New Orleans, and then had to, for some inexplicable reason, had to go up in a quarterback battle against what's his name, the Swiss Army knife there, Taysom Hill. Who, oh my God, Taysom Hill is he's not a quarterback.
The only person who ever believed that was Sean Payton.
Yeah, I don't know what Sean Payton was smoking, but wow. And Jameis Winston is ranked number 9. Is that fair for Jameis Winston? I would think he would have to be lower.
I would think he would have to be lower, but when he played last year, he did play better than Justin Fields. He did look better than Jared Goff. I wouldn't say much better, but he looked better. I think your gut says Jameis ought to be lower, but I don't know who I'd move up to pass him.
Carson Wentz, number 8 with the Commandos. Last year, he threw for more than 3,500 yards, 27 touchdown passes, limited his interceptions to 7. Maybe he can quit playing Carson Wentz ball where he's got to be the guy. Mm-hmm. And finally start looking around for options 2, 3, and 4 if he has to, before he goes into hero ball mode. Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that. And I do think that Carson is smart enough to realize this might be it for him. If he doesn't put it together in Washington, he may not be a starter in the NFL again. He's good enough. He'll always land on a team, but he may never be a starter again. This is a team that's giving him a chance to be a starter. It may be the last team giving him a chance to be a starter. And I do think he has enough sense to know that. So I expect him to play a whole lot better. He did reel it in for the most part in Indianapolis. So we'll see if he's able to do it in Washington. The weapons are there.
Yeah.
The running game is there. The receivers are there. The defense ought to be better. So I don't know how many more excuses Carson Wentz has left if it doesn't work out in Washington this season.
When you go from an Eagles team that has your next head coach in Indianapolis, and you go to Indianapolis and you don't get better under your former head coach that had you playing pretty good ball, and they don't want you anymore, and they send you packing after one season. Yeah, I think you're right. You got to be saying to yourself, dude, I've got to change something here. And I don't know what it is, but I need to go into camp and I need to be listening to what the quarterback coach and the head coach are telling me, and not be so damn, stubborn about everything, wanting to do things my way. He had a chance to be Indy's guy, and he had a proponent that was for him and not against him. And they just sent him packing after 1 year.
Yeah. And I will say that Jim Irsay wants to win right now. He knows he's got a really good team. He wants to compete for Super Bowls. And so even though Carson played well and the numbers say Carson played well, that, the way they played down the stretch, not good enough. I do think that they're going to be a little bit more lenient in Washington. But the fact is, this is the last year on his contract. If he doesn't play well, Washington can walk away from him. So this is it for Carson.
Jalen Hurts is number 7 on this list for the Eagles. I think that Jalen Hurts, I watched his career when he was at Alabama and he was the number 1 guy. And then for some inexplicable reason, they bring in Tua Tagovailoa to replace him. And he ended up transferring, going to Oklahoma. I feel like this guy's just got the shaft every time. Last season, he was okay. He had 16 touchdown passes and 9 interceptions. But I think a guy with his tool set, Keon, tell me if I'm wrong, a guy with his tool set can be a real a factor in this NFC East and take this Eagles team on a run that could be historic for them, don't you think?
I agree. I honestly think that the Eagles are the best team in the NFC East right now. That they are the team that I expect to win that division. And I think that Jalen Hurts is a guy that's been overlooked his entire career. I mean, coming out of high school, he was barely recruited. You know, Alabama kind of took a chance on him. He won the starting job, you know, in the offseason, but it wasn't, they recruited him to be their guy. He proved he was their guy. And then, of course, you know, they replace him with Tua at halftime in a national championship game because they just needed somebody who could really throw the ball accurately. And at the time, Tua was better than Jalen for that, and so Tua gets it done. They win the title, and Tua takes the job.
Yeah, but you go the whole year with this guy, and then you replace him halftime at a damn national championship game. I mean, that's got to do something to his psyche. This Jalen Hurts must be all man for not have taken that to heart and keep going. You know what I mean?
No, that's the thing about Jalen. Like when you hear people talk about Jalen, he really doesn't take that stuff personally. And he always tries to figure out a way to get better. And that was the reason why he transferred to Oklahoma, because he wanted to be better as a passer. Lincoln Riley's the guy that can teach you. He goes to Oklahoma to add that to himself. And he's become a better passer. And I think he'll continue to be a passer. And I think the Eagles agree because they went out and got A.J. Brown on draft day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they made a strong move to say, okay, we're going to get you another weapon in addition to Devontae Smith. We're going to go out there and make this team better because we know you didn't really have a lot to throw to last year. So here it is. They're giving it to Jalen Hurts. They're giving him everything and giving him every opportunity to earn a franchise contract for them because they do seem to like him. They do seem to trust him. I really think Jalen is awesome, and he's going to have an awesome season.
This should get the text line just absolutely lit up here. At number 6, Kirk Cousins of the Vikings.
Yep. And I don't know if I can be unbiased when it comes to Kirk Cousins because he was my quarterback before he was their quarterback.
I know.
And Kirk Cousins would put up big numbers. And then in the most infuriating fashion, you'd play a big game. You'd play a primetime game. You'd play a game where, hey, man, we win this. We're going to the playoffs. And he wouldn't get it done. That is my big problem with Kirk Cousins. That will eternally be my problem with Kirk Cousins. That people will sit there and talk about his record and talk about the stats. And, you know, the Viking fans get to me on Twitter. Let me know that Kirk Cousins, you know, look at this elite group of people that he's in. Okay, how come you haven't been to an NFC title game yet? Your quarterback's so good.
Yeah, no kidding.
I struggle with Kirk. And I think I wouldn't be as hard on him if he was being paid less. This dude's being paid a whole lot of money.
And yeah, his agent is a genius.
He's a legend.
What did he get? 4 years, 88 million or something, 188 million, something like that. It was just crazy.
Guaranteed.
Well, Kirk Cousins, good dude, but you're exactly right. He just can't play because he's got his hands around his throat in the big plays, in the big times. Almost like the Detroit quarterback Goff. When he comes to the big play on the field, him to step up, and you need him to deliver something, and it needs to be a statement throw or a statement play or a statement run. Kirk Cousins ain't your man. I mean, he'll throw 4,200 yards, but he won't be able to pick it up when the game is on the line.
Like,
look how many close games did they lose last year, including the one in Arizona. The Vikings outplayed the damn Cardinals, and they still lost the game.
Like, does it feel weird that you went further with Case Keenum than you ever did with Kirk? Like, does that not bother you if you're a Vikings fan? Because that would bother me.
All right, when we come back, I got the top 5 quarterbacks. I'm dying to hear what Keon has to say about it. I have the top 5 quarterbacks. When we come back, we'll continue that. Also on this date in Big George's sports history, and if we have a chance, we'll get to the Wheel of Sports. It's the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is Brett Musburger's Action Update. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now, you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now. Here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
NFL Week 1 early odds updated this week. The Arizona Cardinals opening the 2022 season at home against the Chiefs. Arizona opening as a 3-point home underdog. The over-under set at 53. The Celtics took a 2-1 lead in the NBA Finals over the Warriors on Wednesday night with a 116-100 win in Boston. Game 4 in Boston set for Friday night. Boston a 3.5-point favorite, 213 the total. Steph Curry injured in Game 3, saying after the game he was in some pain, but that he would be okay. The inaugural Live Golf Invitational underway today from London. Dustin Johnson, the odds-on favorite at plus 500. Louis Oosthuizen and Taylor Gooch plus 1,000. For vsin.com, I'm Trey Westerberg on Arizona's sports betting station.
Progressive presents today's to-do list for your cat.
Take a nap, meow till I get food, walk away from food, move to couch, see human, give cold shoulder. Take a nap, meow till I get
Your
food.
pet has a very busy schedule, so it's up to you to make sure they're protected. That's why Progressive Car Insurance covers your pets for up to $1,000 if they're ever in a car accident with you.
Move to couch, aggressively clean myself. Take a nap, meow till I get food.
Get coverage for your pets with anti-auto policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
NASCAR Championship weekend is back at Phoenix Raceway. Drivers will put it all on the line to claim NASCAR greatness. The Truck Series Championship kicked things off Friday night under the lights.
We're going to tear it up tonight.
Followed by an action-packed Saturday, where fans will witness an ARCA and Xfinity Series Championship doubleheader. Don't miss out on the action November 4th and 5th. Get your tickets now for NASCAR Championship weekend at PhoenixRaceway.com or call 866-408-RACE.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
Well, Mrs. Grayer, nothing on the x-ray that pinpoints the source of the pain. Let's send you to our lumbar expert.
After reviewing the x-rays, I can't see anything wrong. Let's give you a steroid shot for the pain and send you to the lab for some blood work.
Tired of the runaround? How about trying a new approach? The holistic approach.
At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our medical doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. Our naturopathic doctors can restore pain-free joint function and restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and also improves cognition and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
There's no doubt that Harmon Solar can save you up to 85% on your monthly electric bill. That's a fact. Bruce Jacobs here. But did you know it's possible to get solar for zero down and no payments for 12 months? You can lease, finance, or even purchase outright. They have plans that fit everybody. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, women-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar at 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com.
This is Brent Musburger. Don't miss Betting Across America, Saturdays at 11 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports Betting Station, 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
888-368-1580 is the number to be a part of the show here, the Daily Blender. We exist because of your texts. You're the stars of the show. And so text in like the Hefty Lefty did. I think this list just shows you how top three heavy the NFC is this year. You've got two older elite guys in Rodgers and Brady, and then a great quarterback on a great team in Stafford, and then a few good dudes on a few different talent level teams, then a bunch of unprovens and scrubs. Well, I mean, yeah, but isn't that the way it is in the AFC too?
Well, the AFC's got some young guns at the top. You know, they've got Mahomes, they've got Herbert, they've got Allen.
Yeah.
Where the NFC, you still got the old guard in place. You know.
Well, you can't help it that Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers don't retire and get the hell out of the way.
Yeah, but you look at the young guys, the promising young guys for the NFC. It's not like they're just outside the top 5 now. They're at 10 and 11, Trey Lance and Justin Fields. And then who else would you say is the future of the NFC that's on this list? Maybe Jalen Hurts. That's
why not Kyler Murray?
Oh, yeah, I did see. Yeah, I skipped over Kyler, actually.
Yeah, it's easy to do. He's pretty short.
But yeah, Kyler's right there. But he's the only one that's like right at that point. Because I don't know that well, I'm not going to spoil the top 5. We could just go ahead and talk about it. But
all right, well, number 5 is Kyler Murray, the guy we talked about, my Cardinals quarterback. 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. He finished last season in a slump, a bad slump, and he was somewhat dinged up. But you have to imagine that what has Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers gone through for as long as they've been playing in the NFL? And what about Matt Stafford? You know, these are guys that play hurt every year. You can't go back on this. I'm hurt and I can't play the way I want to. You know what? Then grab some bench, sit down, and shut your mouth. And we'll let somebody else go in there. And as far as this max contract you want, yeah, show me what you can do late in a season, and I'll give you that max contract. All right, I'm done complaining. I'm sorry, Keon. This is your bit. Go ahead. Kyler Murray, number 5. Is that where he should be rated?
Yeah, that's about where he should be rated. I mean, I could see bumping him up to 4.
Really?
But I just don't want to leapfrog him over Dak. That's my issue.
You think Dak is a better quarterback than Kyler Murray?
I think Dak is a more consistent quarterback than Kyler Murray. And it's high level consistency with Dak. I don't think that he is necessarily better. Like if you just offered me one of the two guys and said take one, I'm going to take Kyler.
If Kyler Murray had the same team that Dak Prescott has, do the Cowboys go to the playoffs and ultimately the Super Bowl?
I don't know if they go to the Super Bowl, but I think they go to the playoffs because that offensive line in Dallas it's not as great as it once was, but it's.
And so you're saying you're maintaining that Dak Prescott's a better quarterback than Kyler Murray. Yet, if we put Kyler Murray in charge of the Dallas Cowboys offense, you're saying they go farther than what Dak Prescott has been able to do.
Yeah, because it is a team game, and unfortunately they're on the teams that they're on. And I think that all right. Dak is going to put up the numbers he's going to put up because he's playing on a team with weapons and playing on a team with a decent-ish offensive line. That I mean, it did get worse, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
You let Lyle Collins walk out the door. That's not great. And a defense that's aging. I mean, Dak is going to be in Kyler's shoes soon enough. The Cowboys don't retool properly. But I'll just say that with the weapons that Dak has at his disposal at this moment, and the fact that Dak will play hurt, Dak will bounce back from injuries. That stuff I think I'm adding into the calculus as more than just the raw talent, which I think Kyler has more of.
So we've compared 2 of them. 5 is Kyler, 4 is Dak, 3 is Matthew Stafford, which I think is the best thing the Rams could have done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So does he belong at number 3?
He does. First off, he is a special quarterback, and you're always looking for one of those guys that, coaches have to make tough decisions. You make a play call, the play call is wrong, and that guy makes you right, even when you're wrong. He can make throws that other people on this planet can't make. Matthew Stafford is in that class of guy, and that's the reason why they were able to win a Super Bowl, because he was able to make throws that Jared Goff, he's talented. He's got a big arm, but Matt Stafford can make throws Jared Goff can't make.
Well, and
he can
it
make
doesn't hurt.
decisions that Jared Goff doesn't.
Doesn't hurt
either.
that you have a world-class wide receiver that comes up to you on day one and wants to be your friend and ends up being the top wide receiver in the damn league. And now he's making $75 million guaranteed. So it doesn't hurt to have a wide receiver like that who doesn't go out during the season, by the way. All right, number 2, Aaron Rodgers of the Packers. Is he in his right place, or should he be number 1?
I want to say he should be number 1. That would, like, my gut says.
Really? So you would flip-flop Brady and Rodgers?
Yeah. Though Rodgers, I'm starting to get that point with him too, where it's just like, dude, NFC title games are happening in your house. Win one of these, because that's what's expected of you, and that's what you're capable of. Like, you've shown us that you can do it. And then he gets into these NFC title games, and he shrinks. But from what he does, week in and week out in a regular season, and the fact that he's able to just be the MVP of the league in a fashion that is fairly undisputed, I would flip-flop Rodgers and Brady. Though this is an interesting top 3.
Wow.
Because we've got 2 broken clavicles in this top 3 between Stafford and Rodgers.
Yeah. We got a broken spine in Stafford. He had a broken spine.
He had that too.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think what injury hasn't Matthew Stafford has.
Well,
might be the shorter list of things.
Compliments of the Detroit Lions organization. All right, there you have it. Keon Rose flip-flopping Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers for 2 and 1 on this list. But for the most part, I mean, he's following along, and he's saying things like, yeah, well, you know what? I think this guy, I think they got it right here. I think they got it right here.
I think the NFC list is maybe easier than the AFC list, because the AFC just has so many top level young guys.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
That it's a harder list to figure out. And I think you ask 5 people what their top 5 is in the AFC, you might get 5 different answers. I don't know that you get 5 different answers for the NFC, because it's so obvious who the top 3 are.
Yeah.
And then Dak and Kyler are 4 and 5, I think, pretty clearly. And there's a pretty big drop off after that.
All right. Well, we've arrived at that point in our broadcast today on this Thursday for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1999, after being ejected in the 12th inning, plate umpire Randy Mars for arguing a catcher's interference call on Mike Piazza, Bobby Valentine returned to the dugout with a pair of sunglasses, a Mets t-shirt, and a mustache made of eye black tape. Valentine didn't exactly help himself out when he denied allegations of the visual proof that was him. It was somebody else who didn't look like me. That's what he told reporters. Valentine was issued a 2-game suspension and $5,000 fine. So I remember seeing that. I used to have a coach in high school ball that if he would get thrown out of the game, and he got thrown out very often, if he would get thrown out of the game, he would sit on the bus with the door open on the bus, because we didn't have these big stadiums, just ball fields. He would sit on the bus, on the steps in the bus, and coach us from there. The assistant coach on the team kept looking over at him, and he would be throwing signals at him, or hold up signs or whatever. He was still coaching his team, man. Even though he got run and we were on the road, it didn't matter. He was still going to coach his team. So that's not uncommon in baseball. And I'm sure there are people out there who played plenty of baseball that can tell you about coaches that did the same damn thing.
You can't stop them. This is the way that they are plugged in. They don't know how to do anything. You can't turn off a coach. If they're going to find a way back, they're going to do it.
This was fantastic, though. I mean, Bobby Valentine. Yeah, he got right back in the on the bench in the dugout. Yeah.
I love that he had the gall to say that it wasn't him.
Well, it wasn't me. What are you talking about? It was a guy that didn't look like me. And baseball officials were not amused. So they gave him a 2-game suspension and a big $5,000 for you to pay MLB charities. So there you go. On this date in Big Georgia sports history. Okay, we've got just a minute here. I think we can do this. We're going to do the Wheel of Sports here on the Daily Blender. Stand by. Here we go. Wheel of Sports. It's no secret that my pal and your pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, likes the Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Taco Bell opened its first high-tech restaurant location in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, under its new Defy concept, which aims to reduce service times to 2 minutes or less while providing a fun, easy, seamless drive-through experience. So it's a drive-through only. You don't go into the building. Yeah, you don't go up to the cash register. You pull it kind of like a bank, like a drive-through bank.
It does look like a bank.
It's a 2-story location, which broke ground last summer, features 4 drive-through lanes, digital check-in screens for mobile order customers, unique QR codes, two-way audio and video technology for customers to talk to Taco Bell employees, and a proprietary vertical lift designed by Minnesota-based Vertical Works Incorporated to transport customers' favorite menu items. In other words, food to your car.
Yeah, like one of those tubes at the bank.
It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah,
look at it.
It just comes down to you. You spin the little thing like you would at the bank.
What happens though if you're ordering the refried beans or one of those bean burritos with cheese and it breaks open inside that vacuum tube? What do you think happens?
A disaster.
Huh?
A grade A disaster.
Yeah.
Without question.
I'm looking at some of the pictures now. I wish you could see them, but I'm social media inept. How do they put the drinks in there? I went, I want a Pepsi or a Mountain Dew with that. How do they put that in the sucky tubes?
I don't know. I don't know if this one's going to be a vacuum one. I think it's just a platform that
got
goes
these
up
big
and down.
giant silver tubes here in the restaurant. Wow. There it is. It's showing the order coming out in this whole. Oh my God! Look at that. Wow, that's something. All right, congratulations, Taco Bell. Jeffrey O'Brien will be with you. He will be with you. Moving along. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel one more time. I got a second here. I can do this. Taco Bell and their drive-through and all that. So Aaron Rodgers was walking through the store one day. He was in this store in Wisconsin, and Alyssa Prophet and her daughter actually, who's about 3 or 4 years old, recognized Aaron, who's dressed in some geeky long shorts and no socks, and he kind of looks like a hippie, but that's okay.
I mean, he is.
This little girl recognized him and says, "You're Aaron Rodgers," and she's a big football fan. So Aaron took time to spend with this little girl and allowed the mom to go ahead and take pictures of him and her daughter. Getting acquainted and hanging out. He made her laugh, and she was very embarrassed. And he was talking with her, and it was a very pleasant time for Aaron Rodgers and this little girl. So good for him. Good on him. He's not the douchebag we all make him out to be, is he?
Not really. He, as you know, people who have bumped into him say he's really nice if you meet him.
Yeah. Big George says, the Taco Bell brought back their Mexican pizza, and it's as yummy as before. Is it, Big George? We'll see you tomorrow here at 1580 The Fanatic.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
A lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you can get both, why not?